Okay, you're live, guys.
Welcome back, roller derby fans, to Ted Reeve Arena, the 2015 Fresh and the Furious. Once again, it's Team Nerd Saucisse on the mics.
Bienvenue au Fresh and the Furious 2015. Nous sommes à Ted Reeve.
And this is continuing in the double elimination opening round. The winner of this game between the Montreal Smash Squad and the Derby Debutantes, who are now actually have changed their name to the Hamutants. There are some members of the Hammer City RollerGirls Fresh Meet playing for the Debutantes, so they've changed their name to reflect that. The winner of this game will advance directly to the quarterfinal. The loser will get one more shot.
Le gagnant de cette partie se rendra directement en quart de finale. C'est Dark Knight qui jambe pour les D10, aussi, pour le Smash Squad, et elle est la première jammeuse.
And speaking of Hammer City, Whip It Good, she is one of those Hammer City Fresh Meat skaters skating with GTA today. A lot of mixed teams at this year's tournament. Dark Knight knocked to the outside, calls it off after picking up 2 points.
Elle arrête le jam après avoir réussi à amasser 2 points.
Smash Squad got here after a big victory over the Cannon Dolls, 121-50. The Derby Debs also had a large victory, 136-43 over Le Rebelle. It looks like Cannot on the jam line for the Smash Squad.
Le Smash Squad qui a quand même une grande rotation de jammers.
Still trying to get a number on the Debs jammer.
Et Cannot est sortie. Elle est la première jammeuse.
Cyclone Sam is the jammer. Multiplayer block being issued to Smash Squad blocker. 4-3 pack advantage now for the Hamutants.
Cannot prend ses points et arrête le jam.
Cannot so strong on her skates. Just pushing through that wall. It's good starts from the Smash Squad. We've seen some really high-scoring games
et c'est
so far today.
Choke Colette sur la ligne. Je crois que c'est la première fois qu'elle jamme aujourd'hui pour le Smash Squad. Elle joue aussi dans la racaille.
4-3 advantage for the Debs. Nice blocking right off the start from both teams. And popping through the middle, it is Jewel of Denial. Lead jammer status going to the Hamutants.
Et elle est suivie de près par Choke Colette qui la rattrape. Les deux jammeuses arrivent au peloton presque en même temps. Et Choke Colette prend ses 4 points et les devant.
Jewel of Denial now going to call it off, but it's going to be 4-4. A nice steal from Choke.
4 points des deux côtés. Choke Colette a forcé la jammeuse, dont j'ai de la misère à prononcer le nom, à arrêter le jam.
9-4, 2.5 in.
Jewel of Denial.
Jewel of Denial.
I got this.
Yes, you got it. I haven't had to say Les Tomber les Filles yet. Oh, I did it. Did I do it?
Laisse tomber les filles. Drop the girls.
Drop the girls. Cyclone Sam jamming once again for the Debutantes. Nice hit from Matraque.
Matraque a sorti la jammeuse des Devs. Elle est sortie elle-même, mais la jammeuse ne l'a pas vue et elle est retournée derrière le pack.
A nice from Japanic attack with a nice knockout on Canut. And it's going to be a cut drawn by the Hamutant blocker. Power jam opportunity for the Derby Hamutants.
Super jam pour Cyclone Sam.
Both of these teams showing strong offense in their earlier games, and we have ourselves now a tie 3.5 minutes in. It looks like Luchagor trying to open up a hole. Nice defense, though, from the Smash Squad, led by the pivot Matraque.
Gros hit de la part de Jaime Parro et Booby Puncher ici.
Yeah, very nice defense from the Smash Squad on that power kill. Giving up 2 passes, 10 points. Lead change now. Hamutants up 14-9, 4 minutes in. The loser of this game will have an opportunity to continue. They'll be playing at 5 o'clock for a chance to get into the quarterfinals.
La boîte des pénalités est maintenant vide.
5-on-5. Whip it good out on the line for the Hamutants against Dark Knight. Dark Knight powering her way through the inside. Up against Bucky Harms, able to avoid the hit, stay in bounds. Lead jammer status goes to Montreal.
Virginia Woosh, reverse blocking sur la jammeuse des Derby Debutants. Elle est quand même sortie.
Dark Knight powering her way through on the outside. Calls it off after picking up all 4 points.
Et c'est Matraque qui va s'élancer comme jammeuse pour le Smash Squad.
Up against Cyclone Sam, the Hamutants keeping a very tight rotation on this
Scarlet
match.
Fever du Smash Squad dans la boîte des pénalités.
One each in the box. Luchagore pivoting for the Hamutants. Booby Puncher wearing the stripe for the Smash Squad. Cyclone Sam looking for a way through that pack, finds it on the outside. Unfortunately, she does get lead jammer status. But Matraque has passed her.
N'a pas le lead, mais elle est devant.
Oh, big collision at turn 2, and that's going to force a call out from Cyclone Slam, who'd fallen to the track. But 4 points stolen from Matraque. What a tournament she's having.
Matraque n'avait pas le lead et elle a réussi à marquer 4 points contre 0 pour les Derby Debutants.
Another lead change. Smash Squad back in front.
Le score est maintenant de 16-14 pour le Smash Squad.
Is that Lizaster for the Smash Squad on the jam line?
Oh, Chocolate a
Chocolate.
essayé de prendre l'extérieur et elle s'est fait sortir de la piste et recycler à l'arrière.
Oh, but a nice recovery. And choke through for more points.
Jewel of Denial s'en va à la boîte des pénalités pour les Derby Debutants.
Gunfu knocked down, slow to get up. The pivot for the Smash Squad now leaving the track to head to the penalty box. A couple more points there at the end of the jam from Chocolate. And we have a timeout called now from the Hamutants.
Si vous nous suivez sur les médias sociaux, n'hésitez pas à hashtag FNF 2015 ou encore hashtag Fresh and the Furious.
That's right. Talk about the action you are seeing here on the track. First time out of the game goes to the Hamutants. Again, as we mentioned, a team battling for an opportunity to go right to the quarterfinals tonight. The winner of this game will play at 6:20 over in the bubble. And one of the quarterfinal matchups at the 2015 Fresh and Furious tournament. We had a record-setting score earlier today. If you've been following, you saw the 155 points scored earlier today. That is a Fresh and Furious record scored by Roller Derby Quebec.
150 points.
Les Bouches last year scored 150 in the game with the previous record. So just 5 points.
Ooh.
So this is now turned into an official timeout as it's been extended, and it looks like the paramedics are now talking to the Downs skater in the box from the Smash Squad. That was Gunfu. She had taken a hard spill at turn number 2 and was gingerly made her way to the penalty box and now being looked at by the paramedics. As I mentioned, this is the 5th year of the Fresh and the Furious. And if you are new to this tournament, it is a fresh meat tournament. Good opportunity for a lot of these skaters to get some very important tournament experience. The defending champion are the Cannon Dolls from Capital City Derby Dames. Other winners have been Les Bouches in 2013, the Smash Squad in 2012, the Gold Miners' Daughters in 2011, and then dating back to 2008, the Death Row Dames from Hammer City won the first Virgin Suicide Sprawl. So this is your first tournament as an announcer. You enjoying
Oui.
yourself?
Oui, oui. Ça se passe bien. Ça se passe bien. Une chance que tu es là. Et là, je me demande ce qui se passe. Il y a la coach Misfit Melissa qui est allée voir le banc des pénalités. Je crois qu'il y a une blessée du côté du Smash Squad. Les paramédics sont en train de l'amener plus loin.
And they are. That's Gunfu being removed from the game now.
Gunfu qui était une de nos juniors à Montréal l'année dernière. Donc, on a échangé une bloqueuse sur le banc des pénalités pour reprendre sa pénalité.
So we will keep that monitored. 2 on the track for the Smash Squad. And they're playing up at the pivot line. The debutantes follow them, but they are a little spread out. Oh, and Cannot tried to stay off the track, ended up incurring a cut.
Je crois qu'elle pensait que ça passait, mais non, elle a coupé la track. Canut s'en va au banc des pénalités.
And Lucha Gore is the lead jammer. This is her first jam with the star today.
C'est pas trop pire comme premier jam, avec seulement 2 bloqueuses adverses sur la piste.
Nice defense here from the 2 blockers.
Matraque et les Asters réussissent à contenir la jammeuse des Debs à seulement eux 2.
Virginia Woosh back on the track. Also Scarlet Fever, who is replacing Gunfu. Well, Luchagore gets her 5 points, calls it off. Gonna have a tie game yet again. 8 minutes in.
Elle a aussi ramassé les points fantômes des joueuses du Smash Squad qui étaient au banc des pénalités.
Power start opportunity, Whip It Good, coming to the box. The end of that jam, number 329, Jewel of Denial, heading to the penalty box. That's at least her second penalty.
Whip It Good, what a happy jammer.
Always smiling. She is one of the Hammer City skaters on this debutantes team for the weekend.
Ses bloqueuses ont tenté de lui ouvrir une porte à l'intérieur. Ça n'a pas fonctionné. Le Smash Squad l'a contenu, mais elle a poussé et c'est sorti.
Gorgonzola
Elle est la première jammeuse.
Whip It Good powers through the inside, pushing the 2 Smash Squad blockers off the line, gets through for 4 points.
Si ça continue de fonctionner, pourquoi ne pas continuer à prendre l'intérieur?
Oh,
et voilà pour une 3e fois.
4 more points on the board. The Hamutants pulling ahead of the Smash Squad, 27-19 on the strength of that power jam.
2 joueuses du Smash Squad encore dans la boîte des pénalités.
That's the difference so far, the penalty troubles from the Smash Squad.
Pour plusieurs des matchs, les pénalités ont été pour beaucoup.
Yeah.
Beaucoup de power jams sont alloués à l'autre équipe. On pourrait éviter ça. Ça fait mal.
Yeah, it's a short games. Cannot give any team opportunities or advantages. Cyclone Slam gets through, picks up lead. Cyclone Sam, picks up lead jammer status for the Hamutants.
Chocolate est recyclée à l'arrière du pack. Et elle réussit à se faufiler à l'intérieur. Cependant, elle n'est pas lead jammer. Le jam est arrêté.
Cyclone Sam calling that off. Midway point now, 31-19.
31-19 pour les Debs. Nous sommes à mi-chemin dans cette partie. Et les Smash Squad commencent à la ligne de pivot.
And the Hamutants follow them to the front of that start zone.
Whip It Good blocking now.
Both walls now wrapping up their jammers as we slowly move around turn number 1. Jewel of Denial is through as your lead jammer status, but right behind her, and now passing her is Canut.
Aima Paro envoyée à la boîte des pénalités pour le Smash Squad. Elle n'a pas reformé le pack assez rapidement.
Nice skating from Canut, forcing that call off. Jewel of Denial unable to get to the pack and put any points on the board. But nonetheless did kill important time on the clock. 9 minutes to go now. Dark Knight getting an opportunity with the star once again.
Ah, les Debs décident finalement d'aller se placer devant le trio de bloqueuses du Smash Squad.
Smash Squad have been taking that
Dark
front
Knight
position.
se fait éjecter à l'intérieur de la track et recycler derrière le pack.
Dark Knight pops that two wall open, gets through. Last line of defense is Luchagor. Knocks her down, but couldn't stay on her feet. Dark Knight through on her initial pass. Cyclone's Sam gets knocked to the inside.
Virginia Wish sort la jammeuse à l'intérieur de la track.
Nice hit from Virginia Wush. Timeout called now by the Smash Squad. Not liking the way things are looking as the Hamutants with an early lead here.
Le Smash Squad demande un temps mort. Voyons voir s'ils vont réviser leur stratégie. Arriver avec une nouvelle approche, nous allons voir. Le score est de 33-19 pour les Debs. Il reste 8 minutes 30 de jeu.
Tight game so far. Both of these teams have been involved in very high scoring games, so this is a bit of a change for these guys.
Et on se rappelle que l'équipe gagnante se rendra directement en quart de finale. L'enjeu est grand.
That's right, that is at 6:20 p.m. for the winner. The loser, of course, not eliminated yet. They will have another chance, second chance to get through the quarterfinals. But they will have to play the 7:05 Bombshells at 5 p.m. for that opportunity. I think given how long this day is, how hot it is, teams would like to win and get that chance to go right to the quarterfinals, get a bit of a break.
Car il fait chaud ici à Ted Reeve. Je peux même pas m'imaginer comment c'est pour les joueuses en ce moment. Je suis assis sur une chaise et j'ai chaud.
Well, you've been on the track before.
C'est vrai.
You know how hot it is out there. Pivot stripe being put on upside down at the last minute.
On a laissé tomber les filles qui a mis son chapeau de pivot à l'envers.
Matrak is jamming once again, though, and she gets through as your lead jammer. And Whip It Good following her out of the pack, but about 30 feet back.
Whip It Good suit Matrak, toujours en souriant. Matrak tente de percer le mur en poussant en plein centre et tout le monde tombe. Est-ce qu'il y aura une pénalité? Non, tout semble en règle.
Smash Squad getting back on the board after going scoreless for a few jams, now within 11 points. Hamutants in control, but one power jam could change the face of this game very quickly. Heading to the penalty box at the end of that is Jewel of Denial.
Encore une fois.
Yeah. Jewel of Denial racking up a lot of penalties here. We're going to have to keep track of that. 4-3 pack advantage for the Smash Squad. Scrappy scrum start.
Chocolate qui sort première jammeuse.
Cyclone Sam also through.
Gung Fu est revenu. Je crois que sa blessure n'était pas sérieuse. Nous sommes contents de le revoir sur la track.
Chocolate aggressively calling off that jam.
Elle marque tous ses points et n'en laisse aucun pour l'équipe adverse.
Just like that, the Smash Squad back within 8 points. 6.5 minutes to go.
33-25 pour les Debs.
Jewel of Denial standing. We will have full packs shortly. Kind of out there against Whip It Good. Jammers released. Debs pushing Connaught back onto the first straightaway. Coming up to turn number one. A no pack situation allows Whip It Good through. Lead jammer status for the Hamutants.
La défensive des deux équipes est très forte dans ce match.
Yeah. These are two teams to watch in this tournament for sure. Oh, and Connaught just sneak.
Oh!
And she did. All 4 points.
Canut s'est faufilé. Personne ne l'a vu passer. Pendant que ces trois bloqueuses bloquaient la jammeuse des Debs, elle en a profité pour se faufiler à l'intérieur et prendre tous ses points avant la fin du jam, alors qu'elle n'avait pas le lead.
And only 2 for the GTA RollerGirls. 5.5 to go. 6 points is the difference.
2 bloqueuses pour les Debs seulement sur la track.
So the penalties now shifting toward GTA.
Chocolate prend le lead.
And Cyclone Sam having a hard time getting through the 4-wall of Smash Squad blockers. Virginia Wush leading the way on the inside. Knocks Cyclone Sam there. Forced to reset at the back. Chocolate through with a 5-point Grand Slam. And finally, Sam is through on her initial pass, but the Smash Squad have pulled within 1 and have an opportunity to take the lead.
Il y a de la circulation au banc des pénalités.
And there it is, lead change. Chocolate through. Oh, and a track cut being called on Cyclone Sam. Power jam opportunity now for the Smash Squad.
This could be a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Late
Le Smash Squad qui a un power jam. Chocolate ramasse 5 points. Le Smash Squad, les bloqueuses reforment à l'avant.
Oh, nice job from Bucky Harms. The pivot holding the inside line.
Virginia Wush revient du banc des pénalités pour aider ses bloqueuses.
Huge hit there from Lucha Gore and Bucky Harms, 2 of the stronger Debs jammers, forcing that call off. Chocolate had enough, but Chocolate with a 15-point jam has turned this game around, make that 17 points.
Le Smash Squad de Montréal reprend le lead de cette partie à 46 points contre 37 pour les Debs. Il reste 3 minutes de jeu.
Very tight game between 2 of the strongest teams in the tournament.
Cyclone Sam est debout dans le banc des pénalités avec l'étoile. Le jam commencera donc en super jam pour le Smash Squad. L'espace de quelques secondes.
So Smash Squad waiting for their opportunity. It came late in the game. Losing for most of the first 15 minutes. And now have taken the lead at exactly the right moment. And let's see if they can hold it with 3.5 minutes to go. This is the last timeout for the Hamutants. They have none left. They do have 1 official review remaining if they need to stop the clock. Now we are ready to get back underway. Canot is going to be jamming.
On a Matraque, Booby Puncher, les Aster, Aimaparo qui bloque pour le Smash Squad. Et Matraque qui ouvre l'extérieur pour sa jammeuse qui prend le lead.
Wow, nice simple move from Matraque to open up that outside lane. Cyclone Sam back on the track.
C'était une question de fraction de seconde et de précision.
Yeah, excellent timing between the jammer and the pivot. Cyclone Sam being swallowed up. Finally makes a nice move at turn number 2 to get through. But 4 more points put on the board for the Smash Squad as they increase their lead.
Le score est maintenant de 50 à 37 pour le Smash Squad.
A little bit of some scoreboard problems you may be seeing on the overlay. It still says 3:47 left to go. We're going to have to make some adjustments on the time. I have a feeling we're going to have an official timeout here. Oh.
Le chronomètre n'était pas parti.
Yes, there it is, the official timeout. The clock time did not start on that last jam, so we're going to make a bit of an adjustment. And we'll get right back underway here. Another opportunity to thank our vendors. We would like to thank Neon Skates. Neon Skates is a roller derby and recreational skate store. Patin Neon est un magasin de patins quad spécialisé dans le derby et le patin récréatif. You can visit them at www.skateneon.com.
Hey, tu pourrais annoncer en français.
Oh, yeah, was that right?
You want to switch? I do the English, you do the French.
I think you might do a little bit better at the English than I would at the French.
Dark Knight sur la ligne de jam pour le Smash Squad. Et Whip It Good pour les Debs.
And Dark Knight quickly through as your lead jammer.
On sent la tension dans l'arena. Scarlet Fever essaie d'arrêter Whip It Good. Ça n'a pas fonctionné. Elle est sortie du pack. Mais Dark Knight est revenu.
Back block called on Dark Knight. Power jam opportunity for the Debs.
Dark Knight essayait d'appeler la fin du jam, mais elle a une pénalité pour un blocage au dos.
That does mean this will be a 2-minute jam. And Whip It Good has already picked up 5 points.
Étant donné que Dark Knight était lead jammer, elle a perdu maintenant son statut de lead en allant à la boîte des pénalités. Le jam durera donc 2 minutes complet. Dark Knight est debout dans la boîte des pénalités. Whip It Good retourne dans le pack.
She's already got a few. Oh, it looks like a penalty is going to be called, and that might be on... Yes, Whip It Good now heading to the penalty box. Trading power jams. Whip It Good is sitting on at least 2 points, I believe, so there will be a slight score adjustment.
Maintenant, il faut faire attention aux pénalités parce que c'est ça qui pourrait changer l'enjeu du match.
Whip It Good coming back out of the penalty box.
Il reste 30 secondes au jam.
Oh, this is a disaster for the Debs. Whip It Good did not properly circle the track to enter the penalty box, so an extended power jam now for the Smash Squad.
Je crois que Whip It Good avait dépassé la ligne permise pour la pénalité. Elle a donc dû retourner faire un autre tour de la track avant de se rasseoir sur le banc des pénalités.
Again, that is why we play this tournament. Oh, but Dark Knight comes in front of the opposing blockers.
Mais the opposing blocker got a penalty before she cut in front of her.
I think it was the other blocker she cut, though.
Oh. Elle a l'air très contente.
Oh, maybe not.
Non. On a une bloqueuse des Debs qui se fait envoyer au banc des pénalités pour coup de coude.
Right. Yes, so I guess they... No, Dark Knight is...
Confusion, je crois qu'elle n'avait pas compris qu'elle avait une pénalité.
I think there was some question over whether or not she did cut the other blockers or not. It looks like she did.
64-47 pour le Smash Squad avec la jammeuse dans le banc des pénalités. Les deux jammeuses sont au banc des pénalités.
Yeah, and the jam is actually underway. This will be the final jam of the game. There's 10 seconds left on the game clock. Now that Whip It Good is on the track, there's 1 minute and 44 left on the jam clock, and that is what we are going to. Berth in the quarterfinals on the line. Smash Squad starts to speed it up with some nice old-school paceline defense.
Et le Smash Squad qui essaie d'accélérer le pack, ça fonctionne. Les Debs les suivent. Ça rend ça presque impossible pour la jammeuse des Debs de les rattraper pour pouvoir faire des points.
Yeah, nice job from the Smash Squad. Finally, Whip It Good able to get through. She is your lead jammer. 1 minute to work with. Dark Knight out of the penalty box as well. Dark Knight takes a big hit from Bucky Harms.
Et Whip It Good revient au pack. Booby Puncher la frappe au plancher. Et se prend une pénalité pour avoir frappé dans le sens horaire.
Dark Knight looking for points. 4 points on the board. There's not going to be enough time for the Hamutants to come back. I think the Smash Squad going to be content to trade scoring jams here.
C'est très dur en ce moment de ne pas crier sur le banc parce que c'est un match très très serré. Et les deux jammers sont sortis du pack et se suivent pour un tour de piste. 2 bloqueuses pour chaque équipe seulement sur la piste.
There will be a third GTA blocker coming out of the penalty box. 10 seconds to go. And it looks like we are going to have our second quarterfinalists here at the 2015 Fresh and Furious.
Wow.
The Smash Squad.
Le
Advance.
Smash Squad avec cette victoire passe directement au quart de finale.
A great game.
What a game! Et si vous êtes dans les environs à Toronto, je vous encourage fortement à nous rejoindre à Ted Reeve et à la Bubble parce qu'on a du bon derby qui se joue ici.
Fans of the debutantes, don't worry. They have one more shot to make it into the quarterfinals. They'll be playing at 5 p.m. here at Ted Reeve Arena against the 705 Bombshells for a chance to make it to the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, the Smash Squad advances. They will be playing at 6:20 in the bubble. They join the Bloody Marys in the quarterfinals so far. So some discussion, the final is still unofficial. We're just waiting for a wrap.
On attend toujours le pointage officiel.
A great performance from the Smash Squad, losing for 15 minutes. Took an opportunity in a power jam to take the lead, and they never let it go.
Je crois qu'ils ont bien utilisé leur temps mort aussi. Hein. Ça leur a permis de repartir du bon pied.
And there it is. And it is official. 76-57 is the final. Smash Squad through to the quarterfinals. Coming up here at Ted Reeve Arena very shortly, around 3:40, the Cannon Dolls will be taking on La Rebelle, and you can catch Sass and I back on the mics at that time.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for tuning into layer9.ca and Fresh and Furious 2015.
Now it's Rebelle and Cannon Dolls. Oh là là. Oh my God. I know. For sure she would have done it. Oh, là là.
Are we still live? We're not live right now, are we?
We might be just running it. The audio is plugged in.
It is plugged in? It is plugged in? It is plugged in?
It's up. It should be unplugged. Welcome back, everyone, to the Fresh and the Furious. Once again, I'm the Derby Nerd here, once again with Sass.
Bonsoir.
We're going to be joined at the hip by the end of this tournament. All right, we are underway, continuing with the double elimination portion of the tournament. Pure Evil is your lead jammer for the Capital City Derby Dolls, Cannon Dolls in the green. And they're facing off against Les Rebelles in the black from Roller Sherbrooke. Both of these teams lost their first game, so this is a must-win. The loser will be eliminated.
L'équipe qui perd ce match sera éliminée du tournoi Fresh and Furious 2015. Je me suis renseigné un peu sur les rebelles de Sherbrooke. Ils ont une joueuse Dirty Rex qui vient des Sirènes de Rimouski et ils ont 4 joueuses qui viennent des Pitounes de Trois-Rivières.
Another mixed team here at the Fresh and the Furious. So yes,
Malicious pour les rebelles sur la ligne de jump.
we've already had one team eliminated from the Fresh and the Furious, the South Simcoe Rebel Rollers, just knocked off by Queen City's Queen's Court. Jammer 4, it's Fawcett for Capital City, and she is your lead jammer 2 in a row to kick things off here for the Cannon Dolls. Malicious with a nice burst of speed on the inside, getting through at turn 2.
On voit que les deux équipes ne veulent pas la laisser passer. Celle-là, c'est déjà très physique en ce début de match.
Fawcett through for 4, going to keep this jam going. And Roller Derby Sherbrooke now on the board with 4 points as well. Fawcett on the pass. Again, going to keep this jam going. Interesting strategy.
Fawcett qui n'arrête pas le jam malgré le fait que Malicious de Sherbrooke soit au travers du pack à prendre ses points. On dirait qu'ils essaient déjà d'écouler du temps.
Fawcett with a nice shoulder-to-shoulder hit on the Petit Christmas. Wow, very aggressive jamming from Malicious. Forced to reset on the outside. A long second jam here in this game. 5 points now finally on the board for the Capital City Cannon Dolls. So the strategy of keeping this jam going just starting to pay off. Interesting, given the length of the day, to start things off with such a long jam.
Les rebelles ont réussi à retenir la Fawcett pendant quand même quelques secondes.
So in the end, it's a 21-12 jam. Cannon Dolls now up 25-12. We're 3 minutes in.
Après seulement 3 minutes, le score est déjà de 25-12 pour les Cannon Dolls. On vous rappelle que l'équipe qui perd ce match sera éliminée du tournoi.
And the winner gets one more shot to make it to the quarterfinals. They'll have to play back-to-back, though. They'll have to play the very next game at 4:20. So a grueling challenge for the winner. But it's better than nothing, which is what the loser gets.
L'équipe qui gagnera ce match joue la partie tout de suite après.
And that is the Dirty Farmers who are here on the sidelines waiting to see who their opponents will be.
Well, some teams are second half teams.
That's right.
Alors jouer 20 minutes d'affilée, c'est peut-être pas si pire que ça. Tu rentres dans la partie déjà réchauffée.
Heading to the penalty box is Beast, so there's going to be 2 Cannon Dolls in the penalty box.
5 contre 3 pour les rebelles.
Misdemeanor, the captain, jamming now for the Cannon Dolls. Oh, and a big hit from Pure Evil. The lead jammer status goes to Misdemeanor.
Misfortune Cookie prend le lead.
Sorry, that is Misfortune Cookie, not Misdemeanor. Thank you. Oh, and Misfortune.
Elle se fait envoyer au banc des pénalités pour un blocage au dos qui envoya l'une des rebelles de Sherbrooke au plancher.
Opportunity then for Les Rebelles. Power jam for Orange Clutch and her 4 blockers.
Super jam pour Orange Clutch qui
one to beat. Another play being called on Per Evil. Going to send her to the penalty box.
Et elle est recyclée à l'arrière. Ah, elle réussit à passer. Une autre bloqueuse des Cannondals s'en va au banc des pénalités rejoindre ses amis.
Once again, all four blockers just letting their jammer go. Terrible is the pivot. And once again, Cannondal blocker way out of play being sent to the penalty box. Oh, misfortune.
What is happening?
Oh, she picked up a legal procedure. It must have been an illegal re-entry. I didn't quite catch it.
Il y a du trafic au banc des pénalités. C'est dur à suivre.
And Les Rebelles have just tied the score. And an opportunity to take the lead as the power jam continues. There it is. Lead change.
Les Rebelles prennent le lead.
Oh,
5 autres points pour Orange Clutch.
Nice pass. Only 2 blockers on the track for the Cannondals. A bit
Quand
of a
on dit que les
disastrous game.
pénalités peuvent faire la différence.
Orange Clutch takes a big hit.
Terrible qui aide Orange Clutch à se relever.
Wow, a huge jam. 20 points for Les Rebelles, and they have taken the lead.
Le score est maintenant de 35 à 25 pour les Rebelles. Ce super jam les a beaucoup aidés. Elles en ont pris profit.
And the jammer still in the penalty box, Misfortune Cookie. That is the captain.
Illegal procedure.
Oh, and she's getting double
2 minutes.
or 2 penalties. So
Hey,
full
c'est
minute.
la petite Christmas qui sort en tête et qui a le lead jam. Elle est première jammeuse.
Things coming apart here for the Cannondals. Huge opportunity for Sherbrooke. Oh.
Elle est envoyée au banc des pénalités pour un blocage au dos qui envoya son adversaire au plancher.
It came in a little hot. Again, some of these skaters newer to the sport, so perhaps if that had been a more experienced skater, she would have stayed up. But a back block incurred, and Misfortune Cookie out of the penalty box, so now a power jam opportunity for the Cannondals, and she's going to pass that star off right away.
Misfortune Cookie passe l'étoile à Pure Evil qui sort du pack.
1 minute to go in this jam. It's going to be a full 2 minute.
La petite Christmas est de retour sur la track.
Curryville around and scoring. Takes a huge hit. In the second straightaway, gets up quickly though through the pack. 5 points on the board for the Dolls. They are within 5.
Et les deux jammers marquent des points.
40 seconds for both these jammers to keep adding to their scores.
Personne ne peut l'arrêter car il n'y a pas de première jammeuse. Freaky Meow s'en va au banc des pénalités en tant que pivot pour les Rebelles.
So no pivots on the track for Les Rebelles. Petit Christmas through, 4 more points, but an easy pass for Per Evil. Slides through on the outside with only 2 Sherbrooke blockers on the track. Petit Christmas slowing up this time as she enters the pack. Huge collision at turn 1. Misfortune Cookie pushing Petit Christmas to the inside. Per Evil gets through at the very end of that jam. 5 points on the board. That's going to tie the game.
43 à 43 avec 12 minutes à jouer. Il y a de l'électricité dans l'air.
Oh, there was a slight adjustment at the end of that jam. Les Rebelles had 2 points in the penalty box that she was sitting on. So
Les Rebelles sont toujours en tête avec 45 points sur 43 pour les Cannondals.
unbelievable game. Both teams facing elimination. The Cannondals, defending champions, do not want their tournament to end early, and Fawcett now is through, but Malicious is your lead jammer. I don't know if she's aware of that. Malicious calls it off just as Fawcett approaches the pack. 2 points, though, scored by the Cannondals.
Les Cannondals ont quand même réussi à prendre 2 points. On peut pas se permettre de donner des points à l'autre équipe quand on a le lead. Ça peut faire toute la différence en fin de match.
Nuts being sent to the penalty box for a skating out of bounds penalty at the very end of that jam. So Sherbrooke has one extra skater on the pack, in the pack, and there she's being sent off the track. Miss Fortune Cookie back on the jam line with the star. Picked up a minute in penalties last time she was out there.
Et Miss Fortune Cookie qui est première jammeuse.
And that's Jambet jamming for Sherbrooke. It is. Miss Fortune Cookie now through the pack, and she has picked up 4 points, and that will be a lead change once again. One of many so far in this game. Jambet's still having a hard time.
Multiplayer block sur... C'était dur à voir, tout le monde était par terre. Ah, c'est sur les Cannondalls.
Yeah, misnomer sent to the penalty box for that one.
Les deux jammeuses se suivent et entrent dans le pack en même temps. Tombent sur le sol en même temps. Sont recyclés derrière le pack en même temps.
Forearm being called on Pure Evil, though. Terrible heading to the penalty box.
Je crois que la fatigue et la chaleur commencent à se faire sentir chez les deux équipes.
Everyone heading to the penalty box. Misdemeanor also in the penalty box as well for the Cannondalls. Jambet gets pushed to the inside. Miss Fortune Cookie coming around on another scoring pass. Huge collision. The end of the first straightaway sends everyone to the track. Nuts pushing Miss Fortune Cookie to the outside again. Oh, a low block is going to be called now on number 88. 10 seconds to go in another chaotic jam.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say anymore.
No, bodies flying, points being scored, and when it's all said and done, it looks like the Cannondalls are going to come out of this one on top. 62-57 now. 17-12 jam.
8 minutes à faire dans cette période. Et cette partie, car il n'y a qu'une période. Wow, les derniers jams furent assez tumultueux. Il y a 2 bloqueuses par équipe sur le banc des pénalités.
Micro jam to start things off. Micro packs. Fawcett for the Cannondalls. Freaky Meow for Les Rebelles.
Et la petite Christmas qui fait passer sa jammeuse en bloquant la bloqueuse adverse.
Cannondalls having another blocker back on the track. Misdemeanor. Fawcett through, calls it off just as Freaky Meow hits the back of the pack. 4 points for the Dolls.
Et Freaky Meows a réussi à se ramasser 2 points dans la courbe sur ce coup-là.
Huh, nice hustle from Freaky Meow. Get those 2 points.
They took back the 2 points they gave them earlier.
That's right. 7-point lead for the Dolls, 7.5 to go in the game. What a great performance from Les Rebelles. I think a lot of people thought maybe the Cannondalls would walk all over Sherbrooke, but Sherbrooke putting up a great fight.
Orange clutch qui sort le numéro 33, Miss Fortune Cookie.
Miss Fortune Cookie just a little too passive on that pass.
Et Malicious, wow, elle fait tomber 2 bloqueuses des Cannondalls en passant à travers leur mur. Elle est en feu.
And she calls it off.
Elle arrête le jam juste avant que Miss Fortune Cookie puisse ramasser des points. Wow.
Big smile from Malicious after that jam. Les Rebelles within 11 points now. 6:48 to go. Timeout being called by RollerGirls Sherbrooke.
70-63. 73. Oh.
Never mind.
Something is up.
Never mind. We have a 3-point game. It looks like some points improperly assessed at the end of that last jam. So 66-63 is your updated score.
Revirement de situation, le mauvais score était affiché au tableau. Le score est maintenant de 66-63 pour les Cannondalls avec un écart de seulement 3 points. Il reste 6 minutes à jouer.
Coming up on the Ted Reeve Arena track. After this, we have our first elimination game of the tournament. The Dirty Farmers, of course, waiting for the winners of this game. That'll be coming up at 4:20, and that'll be followed by a game between the Debutantes and the 705 Bombshells, also a last chance game coming up at 5 p.m. So this is the end we're coming up to the end of our first round of the 2015 Fresh and Furious tournament. Once again, I'm the Derby Nerd here with Sass. We're watching the Cannondals in blue and Les Rebelles in black. Cannondals nursing a very slim lead, and it's going to be a lead jammer status for Fawcett. Oh! Petit Christmas!
Elle a coupé la piste, elle s'en va au banc des pénalités. Elle donne un super jam à Fawcett des Cannondals. Avec seulement 3 points d'écart, c'était l'erreur à ne pas faire.
Big opportunity for the Cannondals and the Petit Christmas. Just one of those momentum cuts where she couldn't stop in time. Slipped back into the track.
Terrible qui s'en va rejoindre son ami au banc des pénalités. 2 bloqueurs seulement pour les rebelles sur la piste.
And Fawcett picks up 5 points. Wow, it's a very active pack.
Pure Evil s'en va au banc des pénalités pour avoir frappé une fille qui était déjà par terre. C'est très agressif ici à Ted Reeve.
Yes. And a big hit, speaking of aggression. Freaky Meow. Great penalty kill here from Les Rebelles.
La Petite Christmas est de retour sur la piste.
Beast, first line of defense for the Dolls. Nice move to stay beside Le Petit Christmas, and that jam comes to a conclusion. 5 more points for the Dolls. They open up a 17-point lead after a 14-0 jam. 5 minutes to go. Misfortune Cookie and Malicious will be taking to the lines for their respective teams. It's going to be 2-2 in the pack. An official timeout called, and an opportunity for us to thank Rumbling Rage Derby Shop. They are partnered with Bont this year. Visit them at www.rumblingragederbyshop.com.
I'm speechless. This game is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, this is the biggest lead of the game, believe it or not, 17 points. That's how close it's been.
2 bloqueuses par équipe sur le banc des pénalités. On est encore en 3 contre 3. Misfortune Cookie contre Malicious qui jammeront.
2-2 in the pack. And jam has begun. Malicious getting through first.
Malicious est première jammeuse après une petite action. Jammer sur jammer, c'est elle qui fut sortie victorieuse.
3-on-3 now in the packs. Malicious very quickly around to score. Works the outside.
Passe à l'extérieur et elle prend tous ses points et arrête le jam avant que Misfortune Cookie puisse en faire.
The comeback begins, and it's going to be another timeout from Les Rebelles. That's going to use up their timeouts potentially. Oh no, the Cannondals have used one, so that's the first timeout being used by Les Rebelles. Perhaps smart just to keep the clock stopped, to buy themselves some time. They're within 13 points. Les Rebelles got here after a loss to the Derby Debutantes earlier, 136-43. The Cannondals lost big time to the Smash Squad, 121-50. That was earlier today here at Ted Reeve Arena. As I mentioned as well, our first team has been eliminated from the tournament. The South Semco Rebel Rollers just fell to Queen's Court from Queen City RollerGirls, 107-69. So the weekend ends early for South Simcoe.
La foule est en délire ici à Ted Reeve.
Yeah, big cheering section for Les Rebelles.
OK, le temps mort est terminé. On retourne au jeu. Voyons voir si ça aura donné aux rebelles le temps dont elles avaient besoin.
Freaky Meow will be the jammer of note for Les Rebelles as this jam gets underway. Finally, the penalty boxes are empty. We've got 5-on-5 roller derby.
For how long? That is the question.
The jam has started.
Le jam était très lent à sortir. Les deux jammeuses attendaient derrière le pack. Et c'est les Cannondales qui prennent les devants.
Lead jammer status goes to Onion Rain, her first jam of this game. Perhaps a secret weapon for the Dolls. She's been playing in the pack so far. Oh, and a penalty. Oh, to the pivot.
Failure to reform, I think.
Yeah.
Et la boîte de pénalités n'est pas restée vide très longtemps car il y a maintenant
Yeah.
le pivot de chaque équipe sur le banc ainsi que Onion Rain qui s'en va au banc des pénalités en donnant un super jam à Freaky Meow des Rebelles. Oh là là.
Oh, an opportunity here. Huge opportunity.
Deux autres pénalités. Une autre chez les Cannondales, une autre chez les Rebelles.
But Beast with some beastly defense on the penalty kill.
Que se passe-t-il? C'est encore du 3 contre 3.
Great job by the two Cannondale blockers to hold Freaky Meow back. Unfortunately for Beast, she was out of play on that last hit. She's in the penalty box. First scoring pass now for Freaky Meow. She's got 2 to beat for 5 points.
Oh.
Oof.
Was that a cut?
It was very close. But
She seemed to think it was a cut herself.
Yes, but no call from the refs. And all 5 points given. 8 points now.
Freaky Meow qui continue.
Jammer is standing Onion Rain in the penalty box. She will take the long way around the track.
Onion Rain est de retour et elle prend de la vitesse en faisant le tour de la piste. Freaky Meow qui sort encore du pack.
3 points will be the difference. And that jam ends full 2-minute jam, and it's going to be a 3-point game with under 3 minutes to go.
Le score est maintenant de 80 à 77 pour les Cannondales. Ce fut un jam très, très productif pour les Rebelles.
Wow, what a performance from Les Rebelles. Facing off against a very established league in Capital City, defending champions at this tournament.
There must be something cool happening around the penalty box because everybody seems to want to go there.
Some kind of party happening over there that we don't know about.
Personne n'a été éjecté encore de cette partie. On vous rappelle que ça prend 4 pénalités pour se faire éjecter d'une partie de 20 minutes. Je crois qu'il y a une autre Mistletoe qui s'en va au banc des pénalités pour les Cannondales.
So, big opportunity with a big pack advantage for Sherbrooke. Malicious will be jamming. And this gets underway, and Misfortune Cookie jamming for Capital City.
Les Rebelles ont 4 bloqueuses sur la track contre 2 pour les Cannondales. Et on a Malicious pour les Rebelles qui va jammer contre Misfortune Cookies pour les Cannondales. C'est pas du tout stressant tout ça, les amis.
The Roller Derby Quebec skaters lining the track, cheering for their provincial counterparts. Lead jammer status 2, Malicious. Misfortune Cookie taken down.
Tout le monde est par terre. Et Misfortune Cookie est sortie, mais elle n'est pas lead jammers. Malicious va passer pour prendre des points maintenant.
Gets knocked to the outside. Takes a hit. She's going to have to call it off. Misfortune Cookie coming around to score quickly. Just calls it off in time.
Close call. Elle a arrêté le jam juste avant que Misfortune Cookie arrive pour faire ses points. Et il y avait tout le banc de Sherbrooke qui lui disait d'arrêter le jam.
Wow, lead change. 90 seconds remaining. Sherbrooke has just taken the lead, 81-80 against the Cannondales. Wow.
Il reste moins de 2 minutes à jouer dans cette période et les Rebelles viennent de reprendre l'avance 81-80 contre les Cannondales.
What a great game here at the Fresh and Furious. You never know what to expect.
I can't take it. This is a very exciting game.
I have to admit, I did not think that Les Rebelles could do it. But they have done it, growing stronger by the jam. As you mentioned, there are skaters from 3 different leagues on this team, so it just took some time maybe for them to come together and gel a bit. But they are rolling right now.
They have figured it out.
And the Cannondalls, who seemed to be comfortably in the lead early on, unraveled a bit midway through the game, but the penalties have now switched back in favor of the capital city. There's 2 in the box for Les Rebelles. Oh, and very physical right off the start. Fawcett with a huge hit. And she's your lead jammer.
Orange Crutch dépasse la dernière bloqueuse des Cannondalls et elle est aussi sortie du pack. Elle a complété son passage initial. Mais Fawcett est déjà de retour contre 2 bloqueuses des Rebelles et commence à compter des points.
Fawcett.
Je crois qu'ils n'ont pas vu que Orange Clutch est passé et elle a pris tous ses points.
4-4 on the first pass. Cannondalls. Bit of a mistake. Under a minute to go. Orange Clutch knocked to the outside at turn 3. Forced all the way back to the beginning of the second straightaway. Fawcett with 3 points on the board so far, looking for the last one.
La petite Christmas qui s'occupe toute seule de la jammeuse à l'avant du pack, mais elle est sortie.
And that was a 4-point pickup for Fawcett. Petit Christmas also threw for 4. Fawcett's going to be all right. We might need to get the EMTs over here at the announcer's table, but Fawcett now takes a knee, and she is being called off on a penalty. Power jam opportunity for Orange Clutch. Wow.
J'ai plus de mots.
Now we're not sure.
Les Cannondalls est en pénalité. Il ne reste que 30 secondes à cette partie. On souhaite seulement qu'Orange Clutch ne se prenne pas une pénalité à son tour.
Orange Clutch, though, is exhausted. The Rebelles are up by 1, but Fawcett may have had points before she went to the penalty box.
Et Orange Clutch pousse à travers ce mur et elle sort!
She is through for 5. That could be the game. Rebelle with the lead of 6 points. Fawcett through the pack, gets through, picks up 4 of her own. But will it be enough? And it looks like Rebelle are going to do it. 94-92.
Le score est de 94 à 92 pour les Rebelles. On attend la confirmation du score officiel.
Wow. Referees are looking at it to make sure. Unbelievable performance.
La partie était folle. Je suis plus capable de parler.
Les Rebelles, the bench is celebrating. What a performance. A 13-12 jam in the final jam of the game.
Et c'est officiel. Les Rebelles l'emportent 94 à 92. Elles passent en quart de finale.
Wow. The defending champions have been eliminated. We will have new fresh and furious champions in 2015. Les Rebelles with, I think it's an upset in the making. Great performance. Oh, we have a skater down on the Capital City bench. But there they are, the Rebelles now taking their victory lap, but well, we're going to wrap things up here for this game. So there you have it, the Cannondalls, the second team eliminated from the Beast of the East 2015. Les Rebelles advance. They'll be playing here on this track in the very next game against the Dirty Farmers with an opportunity to make it to the quarterfinals. Okay, we're going to wrap things up here. For Sass, I'm the Derby Nerd, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes with our next game.
I couldn't take it. What?
I thought they were getting
I did not expect that.
What happened, though, at the end, you know?
I think she's hyperventilating. The
Oh, okay, the girl against
the Cannondalls.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so happy for you.
That was a really close game.
Ooh, that was a crazy game. Oh, that was the most exciting game so far.
Yeah, dude, the Debs versus
Waterfalls. There was some really good,
I
like,
don't know if you guys know, but
It was like this.
updated live online
Oh, is it? Great.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll mention that, yeah.
at fresh.GTARollerGirls.com/schedule.
Okay.
There we go. What the hell
I
just
know.
happened there?
That was amazing.
I was so excited for them.
Yeah.
I was like jumping up and down.
Yeah, I was crying.
Were you?
Yeah.
Amazing. Cinderella story. Their first, yeah. I mean, some of their bands, including their teammate that won the award, we said that we were throwing them over there. It was like, near the end, it was like a minute and a half left of the timer, and I'm like, what's going on? They're like, fuck. I feel bad for the cannonballs over there. him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have to put him behind.
Put it like underneath at the back. No. What about put it here? No, then it falls down. It doesn't stay on my ears. Oh, shit, I'm unplugged. She got so excited she unplugged the mic.
I did. I got a message from Welcome back, roller derby fans, to the Fresh and Furious 2015 here at Track 1 in Ted Reeve Arena. I'm the Derby Nerd with Jaxalotopus.
Hello, Derby Nerd. I am super excited for this bout right here, featuring the Dirty Farmers and Les Rebelles, the Cinderella story out of Sherbrooke, Quebec. A brand new league in their first year of existence, and what a comeback in that last game.
Yeah, unbelievable. An upset, knocking off the defending champions. I mean, it's one thing to say the defending champions, I guess. None of the skaters obviously were on the team last year, but
that's what I've been saying to people as
well.
Yeah,
the defending champion league eliminated the Cannondals, losing 2 in a row. Les Rebelles, really just, we were talking about it last game, getting stronger by the jam.
Absolutely.
Kind of a mixed team between Sherbrooke and Trois Rivières, and it maybe just took them a little bit longer to gel.
Yeah,
and come
absolutely.
together.
A couple of Trois Rivières skaters on there. I got to say that the jammer that was on the last jam of that game, Orange Clutch.
Yeah.
Clutch Jammer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Comes by her derby name quite well. What an impressive display that was. I was happy that I was able to come in and see the end of it. And Les Rebelles, let's see what they can do here against the Dirty Farmers.
Yeah, this is a second chance elimination game, so the loser is done. The winner goes on to the quarterfinals. So they each are 1-1 so far in the tournament. The Dirty Farmers kick things off with the win over the 705 Bombshells before falling to the Bloody Marys, and that's what put them in this game. Les Rebelles, of course, losing earlier on to the Derby Debutantes, and then we just saw that thrilling victory over the Cannondals. And we're just about to get underway. Malicious will start things off for Les Rebelles, and it looks like it's going to be Shreddy Mercury for the Dirty Farmers.
Certainly is Shreddy Mercury. I believe Shreddy Mercury fouling out of the last game that she was playing, and let's see if she's tightened up her penalties.
The winner advances. The loser gets to drink beer for the rest of the day.
Tight defense, but look at this. It's going to be Shreddy Mercury and both jammers out of the pack. Shreddy Mercury and Malicious.
Don't count these Rebelle out of it, though. They were losing for a vast majority of the previous game before coming back late, so this is a team that fights through to the end. Shreddy Mercury losing that race to Malicious, forced to call it off. No points on the opening jam.
And Shreddy Mercury comes out of skate park skating. She's a Chicks and Bulls type of skater. She was found in a skate park and said, hey, you should join Derby. She actually wears the Moxie at the outdoor skates to play Derby in. And she's a very fast skater, so the fact that Malicious caught her on the skate race there and was able to pass her was a great testament to these Les Rebelles skaters.
Yeah, Shreddy Mercury with those great high-cut skates. Spinelli now jamming for the Dirty Farmers. And she is up against, it looks like it is Jambette.
And Jambette, the lead jammer.
So 1-1 now in lead jammer statuses for these two teams. Spinelli gets knocked to the outside at turns 2, stays in bounds. Nice work from the Dirty Farmer jammer as Jambette comes around to score.
Beautiful spinorama by Spinelli.
Jambette threw first points on the board go to Sherbrooke. 4-0 start. A minute and a half in. Looks like Dirty Farmer's going to keep the rotation tight. Shreddy Mercury right back out on the line. Number 313 is your pivot, Sugar. And that is number 747, Dirty Rex, is your pivot for Les Rebelles. Jam is underway. Shreddy Mercury trying to dance along the inside line, but gets knocked out.
Is that Orange Clutch jamming?
Nope. Malicious.
Malicious.
Dirty
lead jammer.
Pivot heading to the penalty box for Les Rebelles. Les Rebelles picking up their second lead jammer status in a row.
Shreddy Mercury out on her initial pass. It's going to be a 4 in the door again for Malicious. Hopefully. Possibly.
Or at least 3.
3 points. And is that a 3 or a 2? believe that's 2.
Oh, yeah, adjusting for 2.
3? Nope, 3. Scoreboard's saying 3.
Scoreboard's
Let's
saying
see.
3. And it is, yes. 7-0 lead for Les Rebelles here early on. Dirty Farmers sending... Who is that to the jam line? It's Freaky Meow jamming for Les Rebelles. It's a 4-3 pack advantage for the Farmers in the white. If you're just tuning in, Les Rebelles from Sherbrooke in the black. Big hit to the inside. Third straight lead jammer status now picked up. It's Freaky Meow. And a cut penalty being assessed to the Dirty Farmers jammer. It's going to be a power jam opportunity for Les Rebelles.
Terrorizer was trying to get out of the pack and looked like her own players kind of blocking her in there. She wasn't able to make it to the sidelines to get to the penalty box as quick as she would like to.
So an opportunity for Les Rebelles to expand their lead.
Freaky Meow already with 5 up on the board. That's going to take the Les Rebelles to 12 points.
This could be the developing story of the tournament if Les Rebelles can keep this up.
If Les Rebelles wins this game, they will be the third of 3 Quebec teams.
Yeah.
And that is a track cut. She went out to the inside at turn number 4.
But I believe, Jax, you're going to say that they would be the third team to advance
Third
to the
team of 3
quarterfinals.
Quebec teams to advance to the semis, quarters.
Yeah. But Terrorizer back on the track makes quick work of the 2-wall of Sherbrooke to get through on her initial pass.
And the Farmers here picking up the pace. They need to be slowing this down, Derby Nerd, and they're actually speeding up the pace and making it harder for their jammer.
I think just their attempts to stay ahead of the pack helping Sherbrooke.
And there's Terrorizer around and through, and she's going to put 5. Oh, and that's going to be a penalty to the pivot of Les Rebelles. Terrorizer with a grand slam up on the board. Much needed points for the Dirty Farmers.
Dirty Rex's second penalty of the game early on here.
Reminder, just 4 penalties will foul you out of these 20-minute mini bouts, and there's another 4 up on the board for Terrorizer.
Freaky Meow, though, through and scoring as well. Both jammers scoring. Let's see if we can get one more pass in here. As Terrorizer working against the clock to try and catch up to that fast-moving pack. But Jax, as you pointed out earlier, Dirty Farmers not doing themselves any favors by keeping things moving quickly.
No, Dirty Farmers, I know as new skaters, you're told to get to the front all the time. However, in the instance where your jammer is the lead jammer or is ahead of the pack, you want to make it easier, in the event that your jammer is the only jammer on the track, you want to be at the back. You want to kind of slow down the pace of the pack.
Misconduct called on the bench onto Terrorizer. I'm going to assume, since it was a misconduct, that it was for hitting after the whistle.
Quite likely, yes.
I didn't see the action.
I didn't either. Some nice blocking at the front of the pack.
Yeah, Sugar. A really bright star on this Dirty Farmers team. The pivot, number 313 in the white, forced to let Le Petit Christmas go. What is
Killer
it?
B also in that bunch, and awesome miss. Putting up some solid blocking to kill off this penalty.
What is it about these Quebecois skaters that makes them have such awesome names?
They have some great names, and they have some great skating skills. It must be something in the water.
Yeah. Terrorizer back on the track.
That's what I was just about to say. And Sugar throwing up some solid defense at the front of the pack. Looks like we have an empty penalty box until now.
Yeah, Killer B and Awesome Miss.
Awesome Miss.
Both being sent to the penalty box, so it's going to be a 4-2 advantage for Les Rebelles. Too many Farmers on the track right now.
I think the Quebec names are so awesome and so cool because everything sounds better in French. It's a romance language.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess the Little Christmas doesn't have quite of the same ring to it in English.
No. I think my... we are back underway, and that's going to be another lead jam for Malicious and Les Rebelles.
Nice little juke around the pivot, Spinelli. Shreddy Mercury being held nuts with some tough defense at the back of that pack, and an easy pass for Malicious through on the inside. The Farmers a little too preoccupied with the offense. That offense did work, though. Shreddy Mercury is through now, trying to make up track on Malicious, who's already approaching another scoring pass. Goes in hot to the pack and being called for a high block.
Oh, and that's got Shreddy Mercury on the power jam, already with 5 points up on the board. Farmers need these points.
Big opportunity here for the Farmers, down by 12. 12 minutes to go. Shreddy Mercury working a power jam. Gets through just past Terrible for the full 5. Suddenly Farmers within 7.
Shreddy Mercury on another scoring pass, already with a 10-5 advantage over Larry Bell, and there's another nickel on the board for the Dirty Farmers.
I think the Farmers were listening to you, Jax, now very patiently holding the back of the pack, just keeping things slow for their jammer.
They need to watch Malicious on the inside, and Malicious is actually going to run into her own skater and go down.
And she is on a scoring pass coming out of the penalty box, so 4 points more on the board for Larry Bell. No lead jammer, 30 seconds to go.
Contrary to what the board is doing down there, it is flashing that she is still the lead jammer, but she has lost that lead jammer status, having served time in the penalty box.
So the difference now is only 2 points. As each jammer puts 4 more on the board, this is going to be a wild, high-scoring jam. 19-13 right now.
Shreddy Mercury needs to get on her horse. There's only 10 seconds left on the clock. She needs to get in there for some points.
Killer Bee and Terrible both heading to the penalty box, 1 each.
Shreddy Mercury through, and she's got another 5 points up on the board. She got the jammer lap point.
Let's see how things shake out here as the score gets updated, and we do have a lead change. Dirty Farmer.
No,
we don't. No, Larry Bell staying ahead.
We have a 1-point game here, Derby Nerd, and we're only halfway through this 20-minute mini bout.
This game is so good, it's even exciting watching the scoreboard operators add the scores up on the board.
So many fresh people at Fresh. We have fresh announcers, we have fresh stream announcers,
fresh NSOs,
and fresh referees. It's a great platform for new people in Derby to get started.
And it's just a lot of fun for the old-timers like us. Jambette is your lead jammer for Le Rebelle. Things getting physical at the back of that pack.
Jambette was dangerously close. Just one blocker on the track now as well for the Dirty Farmers.
And they are having a hard time getting their jammer through.
And Jambette around and through, no problem, with just one blocker to beat. 2 blockers now on the track for the Dirty Farmers. Terrorizer struggling to get through. And what's going on? Oh, we have an injured skater. That is Inukshak.
Another great name. Inukshak.
Absolutely. Number 33, Inukshak. The medics are going to come out. And thanks to our medics, with the Pan Am Games going on, it's quite the traffic snarl. Our medics actually, if need be, have clearance to transport. They have an ambulance here. They have clearance to transport an injured skater to the hospital this year, which is great. Remember last year we had some big injury delays.
They are now tending to Inukshak on the outside, so we will take a bit of a break here.
Absolutely. And if you're out there and you're listening to us and watching us right now, if you want to get some derby gear, you want to get in on roller derby, check out some of our awesome sponsors. You can order online. We've got the Bite Me Boutique with some amazing stickers and t-shirts, roller derby stuff. The BiteMeBoutique.com. Also, MonsterMuffin.com. Best roller derby uniforms around is MonsterMuffin.com, and great skate apparel.
Yeah, and wanted to let you know, too, if you're watching at home, the Fresh and Furious bracket is being updated live on the GTA RollerGirls website. So if you go to their website, go to the Fresh and Furious section, just click on Schedule, and you will see it being updated live throughout the day, so you can keep track and keep your bracket up to date. We are midway through this double elimination game. Inukshak being taken to the EMT area. She's another skater that wears those high boots, interestingly enough.
Also, if you're listening to us right now, get on your Twitter account and get on social media. Hashtag FNF2015 or hashtag Fresh and the Furious. Let us know you're listening to us. Let us know that you're liking what you're seeing out there today.
And just talk amongst yourselves about how awesome this Fresh Meat tournament continues to be year by year. The Fresh get less fresh looking each season, it seems.
Skaters looking to their fans for some support. Dirty Farmers kind of started it. Le Rebelle followed.
Farmers, of course, skating from in nearby Durham region, just in the east end of the city.
Le Rebelle fans are up in the stands. They're making noise. They're letting you know they're here. One of the is actually the Luisa Calmeras Heart Award presentation happened at 2:30. Luisa Calmeras was a skater that succumbed to an acute asthma attack in March of 2014. She was a GTA RollerGirls skater, our host league for this tournament. So they created the Louisa Calmeras Heart Award, going to a skater that shows the most heart and determination on a team. So teams were asked to put in the name of a skater that showed the most heart and determination on their team, and it was a random draw to see who would win that. And the winner was actually Malicious from Les Rebelles in their very first season as a league and their very first trip to Fresh and the Furious.
Yeah, that's great.
Great
You know,
honor.
she always skates with a smile.
Absolutely.
Malicious.
Well, they weren't smiling. They were kind of smiling when they got the award, but they were all crying.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty nice moment when they I had somebody translate and explain who Louisa Calmeras was, and it was a very, very touching moment.
Yeah, nice. So congratulations to Malicious.
Absolutely.
And just a bit of an update. So Inukshuk took a bit of a high hit, cut open her forehead above her eye. So that's what she was being tended to by the physicians. And we also had to do a little bit of track cleanup because you got to get the blood off the track.
Blood on the flat
Blood on the
track.
flat
It's
track.
not a cliche.
It is not. Also the name of a great documentary about the early days of the Rat City RollerGirls.
Absolutely.
If you want to know your flat track history. All right, so we will get ready to get back underway here. We are midway through this elimination game at the 2015 Fresh and the Furious. I'm the Derby Nerd here with Jack Lotopus.
Also, if you are interested in more books about flat track roller derby, IntoBattleBook.com, I believe, is the website. Neil Gunner has created a book called Into Battle, the roller derby experience in photos and interviews. Just $40 will get you one of those. If you're in the Toronto area, you can come here where we are now, see some amazing roller derby, and get an autographed copy.
It's a phenomenal book. It's a coffee table-sized photo book, but a photo book that also tells a narrative throughout the way it's organized. So, yeah. So, yeah, check out that book, Into Battle.
Also, if you are listening to us and you are looking to get some skate gear, please go to skateneon.com. Neon Skate's here with us today, but you can get your Neon Skate purchases at skateneon.com. Also, in the house with us today, you can order online, Rumblin' Rage, derbyshop.com. Rumblin' Rage now connected with bouts. And if you're here today, you can actually go see Rumblin' Rage Derby Shop and get your name in on a draw for some awesome bought skates.
Just more stuff you're missing out on if you're not here at Ted Reeve Arena. Or the Bubble.
1234 Skateco also in the house today. Two locations
right.
in the Bubble and in Ted Reeve. 1234skateco.com. Lucid Lou makes trips around all over Northern Ontario, Southern Ontario, Central Ontario, selling derby gear. She will come to your fresh meat practices and gear you up. It's 1234skateco.com.
All right, finally ready to get underway after that brief injury timeout.
Just one blocker on the track.
Yeah, for the Dirty Farmers.
Two blockers set to return to track.
It was Sugar, though.
Shreddy Mercury, good job on Shreddy Mercury to get through the pack.
Yeah, she had 3 to beat, made it through. Le Petit Christmas now 1 to beat for 5. Oh, and a nice little apex jump. And a big hit from Sugar, and that allowed Shreddy Mercury to steal 4 points. Sorry, make that 3 points.
And Shreddy Mercury, that's where that experience from the bowls and the skate parks comes in so handy, is when she's on that apex and she has those long legs and those great apex hops. The first game she played in, we called, and she was doing apex hops in her first
Unbelievable.
bout.
Just the confidence that takes you. Not sure why she didn't get the full 4. There was a skater on her way to the penalty box.
Well, this could be an official review. What's
maybe,
going on here?
to talk about that.
Cal Hell, the coach of the Dirty Farmers today.
And Jam Solo on the bench as well. Running the lines.
Or it could be the other way around. I could have got that.
Yeah. That's your bench staff for
Those
the
are
Dirty Farmers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on the bench for Les Rebelles, it's Casey Jones and Mamzelle Petat. Oh, and it looks like, do we have a foul out?
Oh, we just might.
Oh no, just perhaps the wrong skater in the penalty box. There's been a little switcheroo on Le Rebelle penalty box, and Freaky Meow is in the box. Cinderella brought out. All right, ready to get back underway here. 47-41, Le Rebelle leading narrowly over the Dirty Farmers. 9 minutes to go.
That's a whole lot of time in roller derby. That's an eternity.
Terrorizer dragged back behind Le Rebelle pack. Jambette gets through for lead jammer status for Sherbrooke.
And that's going to be a penalty to the Dirty Farmers.
Wicked Wench heading to the penalty box. And Jambette coming around and almost threw in an easy pass. Spinelli, though, with a nice hit. Wow, a great knockout from Spinelli. Draws a cut on Jambette, whose momentum brought her back on the track. She just couldn't stop up. So Terrorizer now on a power jam, and she is through on her initial pass.
And she's almost back in the pack, looking to get some points on the board. Just 6 points separating these two teams now. She's looking for 5 right here to cut that lead down to 1. Terrorizer, 1 blocker left to beat. She is through for 5.
Nice timing on that inside-out sweep from Sugar. Sugar recently drafted to the Atom Smashers in Durham Region Roller Derby.
Not surprising. And Terrorizer, just gets hit out to the inside of the track.
She thought she had that inside lane.
That door quickly closed.
Dirty Rex had something to say about that.
And both teams at full strength now.
Jambette back on the track. Dirty Farmers, meanwhile, have pulled within 1 point.
Possibly more, I do believe.
Yes.
Ellen, here we go.
There it is, lead change. At least briefly, because 4 points now being added to the Rebelle score. We've got ourselves a tie game with 7:20 to go.
And it may get broken right here. This jam going the full 2 minutes, and there is time for just a couple more points here, and here we go.
But both jammers made it.
4-2 in favor of the Farmers. That is going to be a 2-point lead. 54-52 in favor of the Dirty Farmers.
Wow, and 1 point being added to the Rebelle score. It's even closer, 54-53. 7 minutes to go. Again, these teams are fighting for their lives here at the 2015 Fresh and the Furious.
4-3 pack advantage in favor of the Dirty Farmers. Pivot in the box for Le Rebelle.
Shreddy Mercury quickly through. 1 to beat. Makes a nice little move to the inside past Le Petit Christmas. Lead jammers for the Farmers.
Malicious 1 blocker left to get around. And Malicious has made her initial pass. Shreddy Mercury coming up on a scoring pass. Farmers doing a good job this time of getting to the front of the pack, making it easier for Shreddy to score points.
Petit Christmas again, last line of defense, and Shreddy Mercury just powering her way through. Both jammers, though, scoring.
And this shows the rookie experience here. Shreddy Mercury should have got through and called right away. But it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to hear when you're that first-year skater.
And when you're not used to the chaos on the track, and it's hard to kind of gather your thoughts and be that present in the moment.
I always tell fresh meat skaters that there's this 100 jam fog.
Yeah.
The first 100 jams you skate in, it'll be like you're skating in a fog. And when you hit about the 100 jam mark, it's like the skies open up and the light beam comes down and the angels sing, ah, and everything kind of clicks and makes sense. And until they get to that point, just enjoy the ride and take in. If they take one positive thing away, then it's a win no matter what, and don't get down on yourself ever as a fresh meat skater.
It's a good way to look at the 100 jam fog. I like
the
that.
100 jam fog. Somebody told me that when I was a fresh skater, and it really made sense.
The orange clutch is through as your lead jammer, Spinelli. Hot on her tail, about 40 feet back. Awesome miss heading back to the penalty box. 4-3 advantage for Le Rebelle. Orange clutch coming around on her scoring pass.
Spinelli as well. Orange clutch not calling out the jam. Spinelli is around and through and has 4 of her own. That's going to trading quads in their quads.
Wow, the Farmers made the mistake, and then Le Rebelle gave it right back.
It's still going to be a Dirty Farmers lead. 62-61 with 4:44 on the clock. Wow.
Another tight one here at Track 1 at the 2015 Fresh and the Furious. We just saw a game come down to the final jam, a 2-pointer. Le Rebelle involved in that as well. unbelievable endurance to go back-to-back here. Shreddy Mercury jamming, gets pushed to the outside by Malicious the Jammer, doing double duty. Sugar, though, holding her up, working very nicely with Anageddon. But they can only hold her for so long. Malicious through as your lead jammer.
Shreddy Mercury still working the pack. She's going to go inside out, and one blocker left to beat. She gets... Oh, boy.
Yep.
Disaster for Dirty Farmers right now. It's going to be Larabelle coming through. Oh, and inexperienced again. Doesn't realize that she's on a power jam. Calls it off. It will be a power start for Larabelle, who have now taken the lead.
Another lead change in this one. 4 points now is the difference. Under 4 to go. And they will have a power start. A super depart.
Orange Clutch. The Clutch Jammer taking the track.
And let's see what she can do with it. Larabelle trying to become the story of this tournament.
No blocker advantage on the track. 3 blockers each, and it is going to be Orange Clutch as your lead jammer.
Nice job by the Farmers to slow her up, trying to buy some time. See if they can get Mercury out of the box without having too much damage done. Oh.
Awesome miss. Takes a shot with one of her skaters, and it was a swing and a miss, but a great try, great attempt, right idea.
Larabelle now expanding that lead to 9 points.
Larabelle just a takeout on the outside, but Shreddy Mercury around and through. That was her initial pass, I believe.
No points called, no points given on that last pass, and just at the very end of it, it looks like the Dirty Farmers pivot Spinelli heading to the penalty box. So they will be pivotless.
Just under 2.5 minutes, 9 points separating these two teams now. It is going to go right down to the last jam, I think, Derby Nerd.
Yeah, I have a feeling. We're going to have a little bit of a replay of what we just saw. Larabelles, they certainly like to keep their fans on the edge of their seats. Shreddy Mercury through his lead jammer. An important one for the Farmers, who are now trying to lock down this defense. Cherry Bomb working very well with Sugar. Awesome miss in there as well. Nice move from Malicious at turn 2 to get by Sugar. Oh, and a huge apex jump from Spinelli.
And
unbelievable.
The crowd goes wild.
And now calling it off just in time. Dirty Farmers may want to start thinking about killing this clock a bit there within 5 points. But only a minute left to go.
Coming up next, we have the 705 Bombshells. That is a team comprised of skaters from the Peterborough League and the Belleville League, taking on the hometown GTA RollerGirls Derby Hamutants.
Hamutants, yes.
As they do have 4 skaters that come from Hammer City.
Yep. And they've been very strong, too, for the Hamutants. All right, back underway on the track. A huge hit from Sugar. Pushes Orange Clutch to the outside. Terrorizer, though, having a hard time at the back of the pack. Lead jammer status goes to Larabelle. Terrorizer takes a big hit from Dirty Rex. This is exactly what the Rebel wanted with under a minute to go. Nuts. One-on-one against... Terrorizer and Terrible with a huge hit. And Jax, I think Les Rebels may have just locked up.
I think you could be right. We could be looking at the makings of a big Cinderella story here. Les Rebels, first time as a league. Oh, no.
Now, do we speak too soon?
We may have spoken too soon. Let's see what's going to happen. 30 seconds on the clock, 10 points. Power jam for the Dirty Farmers.
And a star pass to
Star pass
Spinelli.
Spinelli, yes.
So
Spinelli needs to get on her horse. She needs to make up 10 points, and she has only got 20 seconds to do it. She needs 2 passes.
Well, this is going to be the final jam. There is a minute left on the jam clock. Nuts with a big cut.
And that's going to be 5 points, and there's just 2 blockers on the track now for Les Rebels. Oh, this is going to come right down to it, Derby Nerd. 45 seconds. It is going to go the full 2 minutes.
Spinelli with an opportunity here to tie up this game. Nice little...
tie game right now. Clock has run out. 36 seconds on the jam clock. Derby Nerd, it doesn't get any better than this.
It does not. And coming out of the penalty box, here comes the Orange Clutch now on a scoring pass.
Spinelli, Orange Clutch, 76, 23 seconds on the clock. Both jammers coming out simultaneously.
Spinelli taken down. That could be a big hit, but she was out of play. Number 52. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry. Clean hit. Nice.
Sugar with the sweep, and that's going to allow Spinelli around through. They need to tighten up their defense right now.
Under 10 seconds to go. Orange Clutch could win it right here for Le Rebelle.
She's got 1 point.
She does. And it might not be enough time for Spinelli to get around. I don't think so.
This is going to be Le Rebelle stealing. I believe it's going to be 1 point on the board for Le Rebelle. And the Dirty Farmers are celebrating, but it's going to be, I believe, a Le Rebelle win.
Yeah.
We're going to have to, our jam referees are going to have to go over. They're going to have to take their skates off to count this one. They're going to need their fingers and their toes.
And there it is, Le Rebelle, 81-80. This is unofficial. The bench has just seen the score. Unbelievable attempt from Spinelli on that last jam for the Farmers. And there's Freaky Meow, who fouled out, coming back to her bench.
Vive la Quebec!
Vive la Quebec!
Quebec, the entire province of Quebec is standing on their feet right now. They're drinking PBR. They are celebrating Très bien Quebec.
Wow. Le Rebelle through to the 2015 Fresh and Furious quarterfinals with a 1-point win over the Dirty Farmers.
What an amazing game. This is I compare this tournament to like the Fresh Meat version of Beast of the East in Montreal.
Yeah.
It's very similar. And it's just as much fun.
Yeah, same layout, double elimination. And Le Rebelle live to fight another day. So, for fans from Sherbrooke and Trois-Rivières, your team is going to be skating at tonight at 5:40 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Wow, they
don't get much of a break.
They
so
do not.
You have about 45 minutes to run out and restock the beer.
Wow.
And get ready for your next round of Le Rebelle. Who will be the challenger?
They will be playing Our Ladies of Pain from Royal City. That'll be the quarterfinal game, so no rest for Le Rebelle.
Fantastic. I am excited to see what Le Rebelle is going to do. Very much a Cinderella story of the 2015 Fresh and the Furious.
Absolutely, but congratulations to the Farmers on a well-fought tournament going 1-2 this season. Wow, nothing to be ashamed of, though. Strong performance there in the end, never giving up.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Derby Nerd.
And we will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in to Layer9.ca and the Fresh and the Furious 2015.
I watch a lot of Derby, probably 1 to 2 tournament games a week, watching bits here and there during my lunch break, getting motivated for practice, and even just listening to the action before falling asleep. Because of this, paired with the fact that there's a relatively small amount of Derby companies and an even smaller amount of companies that advertise during WIFTA productions, I have seen the same commercials hundreds, maybe thousands of times. I mean, think about it. During one tournament weekend, there are 15 or 16 games. There are commercials before the game, during halftime, and after the game, with the same maybe 30 commercials on rotation. I mean, I'm an English major, so I'm not actually going to do the math here, but I've been obsessively watching these tournaments since 2009, so that adds up. It's gotten to the point where I compulsively recite the scripts to these commercials when they come on.
Metallics, the different colored full grains, you name it. Some of them are pretty wild.
Let's get online. You won't have any overhead. Put some skulls in your advertising. You'll make a mint. That was never our plan.
What's the new girl's name? Low Tide. Low Tide? Wait for it.
Maybe I should start skipping through the commercials. And for the record, I'm not complaining about the limited rotation of commercials during WIFTA productions. It's my fault for watching the same games over and over again. It's just when I tried to find a word or phrase to describe this compulsive behavior, no one seemed to know what I was talking about. Apparently most people just tune out the commercials, whereas I watch and absorb commercials until I can recite them in my sleep. Am I the only one that does this? I think it's fun to memorize things like the intros to Law & Order or rap songs and challenge myself to say them faster and faster every time. I should probably go outside more. But really, if you do this or any variation of this, please let me know in the comment section or on Twitter. I would really like to know I'm not alone in this.
All right, we are back with roller derby action here at the Fresh and the Furious 2015 from the Ted Reeve Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, GTA RollerGirls. I am Jax Olotopus here with Babbling Babic.
We got two teams trying to stay alive right now. We're going to see the GTAR Derby Hamutants. They're called the Hamutants because they have Derby debutantes on the team, and they also have 4 skaters out of Hamilton. As well, The 705 Bombshells are made up of two different teams as well, too. Peterborough skaters and Belleville skaters.
Yeah, two Peterborough skaters and the rest from Belleville.
So we got a couple of the hybrid teams here.
The Hammer City skaters, the 4 Hammer City skaters have been contributing quite nicely and fitting in quite well with the Derby debutantes from what I've seen.
And they are, the Hammer City skaters are Whip It Good, Jewel of Denial, Japanic Attack, and Misbehaving. And we're about to get this out of the way. Once again, just a reminder, the winner of this game stays alive. The loser will be packing their bags and going home for the day or spectating.
The loser will be going up and grabbing some alcohol and drinking some of that wonderful Mill Street beer. Big sponsor, longtime sponsor of GTA RollerGirls.
Right on. And that's Whip It Good for Hammer City for the Hamutants. And she's had a good day today. She's been picking up a lot of lead jammer statuses and has exhibited some smart track play as she knows when to call it off. And
Finding Rabbit did make it through on her initial pass, forced the call off. It's going to be a 4 in the door for the Debs. Or the Hamutants.
The Hamutants.
The skaters in pink. 705 Bombshells skating in the gray shirts with the wings. They believe they can fly. They have one about today.
Well, they're okay to fly as long as they don't engage another skater while they're in the air.
Absolutely.
And that's Cyclone Sam. She is a part of the debutantes skating with the...
And it's Seborg going to the penalty box, and that's going to be a power jam for Cyclone Sam.
Yeah, and Cyclone Sam gets put out of bounds and is smart enough to get recycled back and come back in legally.
Cyclone Slam hails from Dallas, Texas. Finding her way in Toronto and joining the GTA RollerGirls. Cyclone Slam around and through on another scoring pass now. Already has 5 on the board, looking for another 5. 4-3 pack advantage in favor of the GTA RollerGirls. 10-0 jam now for Cyclone Slam. Seaborg back on the track now.
Cyclone Slam slides right through there again and picks up yet another Grand Slam. The Derby Hamutants right now are jumping to a fast lead, hoping to hold on to it. These 20-minute games, if you get a big enough lead, is enough most times to hold on. But we've seen a few comebacks today, haven't we, Jax?
We certainly have. The last 2 games, Leroy Bell, the Cinderella story of the 2015 Fresh and the Furious, wins a game in the last jam by 2 points, plays back-to-back games, wins the next game in the last jam by 1 point, and they are moving on.
Very exciting. It's definitely some momentum you want behind you as you move on through this tournament. That's a 25-point jam for Cyclone Sam. And that brings the score of 29 for the Hamutants. I got to get used to saying that.
As do I, as I'm an announcer for the GTA RollerGirls, so Debs is just something that flows out of my mouth naturally.
And the 705 Bombshells are still looking to crack that scoreboard, but there's still lots of time left in this game.
And that's going to be another lead jam. That's number 143, Whippagood. However,
but it appears that she picked up a low block call. She went to the outside. She engaged a skater, non-contact zone, knocking her down.
Then there's a chance for I Teach and the 705 Bombshells to pick up a lead jam.
And also a chance to put some much-needed points on the board.
And good job by I Teach to echo back. She gets a signal from her bench that she's on a power jam. She looks back and she makes the power jam motion to make sure she's clear and knows what's going on. She's got 5 and they've broken that 0.
Yeah, good track awareness. And she took that outside line. I think she was baiting to the outside line that time. She comes back in. Gets no pass, no penalty in that case because number 11 for the Hamutants stepped out of bounds. And that's Whip It Good. She's back out of the box right now. We got a little jammer on jammer action.
I Teach is the lead jammer, does have the ability to call it off, and this would be a good time for her to call it off. She looks at her bench, coming off at turn 4, exactly what she needs to do.
She's showing some good track awareness and is paying attention to the bench who's signaling the right things to her at the right time.
And a 10-0 jam for the 705 Bombshells gets them on the board. 19 points now separating these two teams.
we still have lots of derby left.
We sure do. We aren't even 5 minutes in yet.
We've had a real exciting day today. We've had some amazing comebacks and close games. It's good to see these equally matched new, fresh teams out here today.
It certainly is. It's so exciting to see. And it's fantastic that we have teams from all over Ontario, Quebec, and Buffalo, New York participating.
It appears somehow Whip It Good picked up a penalty at the end of the last jam. And
Finding Rabbit.
705 was on a power jam, but now she's picked up a penalty.
And I don't believe lead jammer has been declared, so this means that Whip It Good is still eligible for lead jam.
She definitely is.
Comes out of the box, and here we go. Whip It Good now on the power jam for the Hamutants. And Whip It Good gets taken out off of turn number 1. She's recycled back to the straightaway. She's up and through now. Pinballs her way around and through. It is your lead jammer. Whip It Good. Great blocking by the 705 Bombshells to kill off that penalty. Finding Rabbit set to return to the track. And a great takeout. And Felicious goes down. However, new skaters, they aren't too sure. So Whip It Good recycled to the back of the pack. She didn't need to do that.
No, but why take a chance?
Absolutely. Err on the side of caution as a fresh skater. Finding Rabbit. Swinging her way through the pack.
She's swinging those arms. Skating hard.
I saw her last weekend, and I actually did talk to a couple of the skaters about going to practice with paper plates under their arms to stop the swimming motion, to learn to control your arms.
And we got all kinds of contact going through there at the back of the pack. Whip It Good puts another 4 points up on the board for the Hamutants.
And it's going to be a 9-0 jam in favor of the Hamutants. Timeout called by the 705 Bombshells. Coach Dawson is going to talk to his players, rein them in a little bit, refocus. They are on the board. They're not out of this by any stretch of the imagination.
Probably a good time to call the timeout, though, and have
Absolutely.
a talk with them. Swing some momentum, hopefully, your way.
It's just two skaters from the 705, the newly merged Peterborough Roller Derby 705 combined league. Dynamite and Awfully Good. Awfully Good having just passed her minimums, I believe 2 or 3 weeks ago. This would be her first game ever. She hasn't even played in a scrimmage.
And she's in a tournament.
Absolutely. Amazing. And Dynamite was a juniors graduate that we... she's now 19 years old, but came into the Peterborough League as a junior transfer.
And that's exciting, too, just to touch basis on that, is that, you know, you've seen this sport evolve with skaters coming into it, but now with all these junior leagues and all these skaters starting at even a younger age...
Absolutely.
You're excited to see what the sport will evolve to in the next 10 years.
And for men and women, because junior roller derby is co-ed. I look to Montreal roller derby and the future of some of the Montreal men's teams. And when you look at skaters like El Skeletto has, I've watched this guy skate for a couple of years now. I found out at Beast of the East, he's only 14 years old and he can jump almost the entire apex.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what this kid can do in like 3 or 4 years when he continues on with derby. And this is going to be another power jam for the Hamutants as Seborg
picks up a back block call. She gets a back block call and she's grabbing a seat in the box, and like you said, it gives a good chance for the Hamutants to open this lead up a bit more.
So the juniors program being the future of the sport, there were 4 standout skaters last year that were junior transfers, and they were just exceptionally skilled for the Fresh and the Furious. They looked like they'd been skating for years, and they maybe have, but the Fresh and the Furious is open to adult skaters that have just passed minimum skills. The juniors don't go through the same testing, so they are eligible to compete even if they've skated for 5 or 6 years in the juniors program. They are still eligible in their first adult year to play in the Fresh and the Furious.
Nice. Now that Cyclone Slam, she picked up a big 5 points up on the board for the Hamutants, and she negotiates her way through the pack again. She grabs yet another Grand Slam.
And Impaler Moon with a huge hit on Seborg. However, I do believe it was to the face, and that's not okay. That's going to be a penalty for Impaler Moon.
Cyclone Slam, she calls that jam. 57 points on the board for the Hamutants.
And another timeout called by the 705 Bombshells. Or actually, no, by the Hamutants. $57-10 is the score. If you're out there and you're listening to us right now, you get on your social media, hashtag FNF2015, hashtag Fresh and the Furious. Talk to each other, talk to us, let us know what's going on out there if you like what you're seeing right now. Also, big thank you to layer9.ca and Mr. Force for the live stream. Able to stream 2 arenas simultaneously all day long with a playback option, and all these games almost immediately after today will be available to stream on YouTube. Incredible. An incredible amount of dedication and work by Mr. Force.
Very much so.
G-Force, his wife, as well, helping him out today. She skates for Toronto Roller Derby.
This is what's given us the reason to do the streaming and the calling to you live right now.
If you can't be with us today and you want to get some roller derby gear, check out 1234skateco.com. Lucid Lou, traveling all over Northern Ontario, Southern Ontario, Central Ontario. She will come to your fresh meet and gear you up. 1234skateco.com. If you're looking for some new uniforms, monstermuffin.com. Monster Muffin in the house with us today. Monstermuffin.com. Identified at Beast as the best uniforms in the country.
Here we go. Whip it good. She takes the outside line. She grabs that lead jammer status real quick. I Teach is not far behind her. If Whip It Good exhibits the track awareness she has all day, she she didn't see it that time. She's a little bit late call off on that one. It looks like 7:05. I Teach picked up a few points there.
4-point steal.
She stole 4 points at the end of that jam.
Also, if you're listening to us and you want to get some skate gear, check out skateneon.com. Skateneon.com, recreational and roller derby gear. Rumble and Rage Derby Shop, also in the house today. Check out rumbleandragederbyshop.com. Rumble and Rage partnered with Bont Skates this year, giving away a pair of Bont boots. So if you are within our voice and you can get to us now, there's a chance to win new Quadstar Bont boots by checking out Rumble and Rage Derby Shop.
Finding Rabbit, she grabs that lead jammer status, but hot on her heels.
Cyclone Slam. And I got to say a huge big thank you to the GTA RollerGirls, Dixie Wrecked and Sparkles especially.
For sure.
Holly de Havilland, Splat Benatar, Kirk, or Michael Bublé. Amazing work to put this tournament together.
Great hosts. We're well taken care of. It's a good event. Organized and ran well. And most importantly, what I like about it all, like I said, is it's a good opportunity for a lot of entry-level skaters, as well as officials, as well as announcers, all around. And that's Whip It Good. She's gonna once again today. She's continuously made an impact for the Hamutants.
Absolutely, and Dynamite powering her way through. Whip It Good only able to pick up 4 points here if she
gets through and calls it off quick, which she does.
And Dynamite just gets into the back, but doesn't get her hips past the hips of the captain for the Hamutants to pick up that 1 point. So it will be no.
It looks like Lucifer at the end of that jam picks up a forearm penalty. So 7:05 is going to start with only 3 blockers on the track at the start of this next jam.
Yeah, absolutely. Hamutants 4-3 pack advantage, 61-14, commanding lead right now in these 20-point games. However, still lots of time left on that clock.
Yeah, we still got half a game left, and we've seen some big comebacks today, so anything can happen.
But Cyclone Slam is going to pick up lead jam, and she's going to keep her team going.
She made it look easy as she just scooted onto the outside there, and there she goes. She goes in and out again, but it's not as easy that time.
And I Teach out of nowhere around and through on her initial pass. Cyclone Slam has 4 more points up on the board, takes a look over, sees I Teach, calls it off. 4-0 jam in favor of the Hamutants.
Okay, you want me to hop right in?
All right, and Babbling Babbitt, I'm going to turn this mic over. We had a little bit of a delay in the bubble, and Ross Vegas has now arrived here, and he's going to jump in and finish off this stream with you.
Always a pleasure working with you, and always a pleasure working with Ross Vegas, too, so...
There you go. Thank you. I'm glad you came over.
And we got this jam back underway. Right now, we have 7:05 with only 3 blockers on the track. That's Finding Rabbit. She finds her way through that pack. She is your lead jammer. And Whip It Good takes the inside line. She's going to skate hard and try to force Finding Rabbit to call this off. Finding Rabbit hits that pack hard. She gets through. Her bench is yelling at her to call it off. And she does, but not before Whip It Good picks up 4 points herself.
Good afternoon, Derby fans. Ross Vegas joining you here for the later half of this game. I've just been bouncing around from bubble to arena to bubble. It's everywhere today, but it's a lot of fun Derby action.
A lot of good games today, a lot of close matchups. Right now we're dealing with a bit of a blow-up, but there's still 8 minutes left, so I don't want to speak too soon. The Hamutants are opened up with the big lead early and are trying to, well, they're building to it right now. 705 Bombshells are doing their best to fight back in, but that is once again Cyclone Slam. She grabs up that lead jammer status once again to the outside. And Dynamite, she gets through that pack. But Cyclone Slam grabs up those 4 points. She calls that jam before Dynamite has a chance to get any points on the board. And you think by now, you're really going to start to see with these new skaters, the tiredness and the exhaustion starts to set in.
Well, with the exhaustion of a tournament, the trials, the tribulation, the learning how to... A lot of people, this is their very first tournament that they've ever done.
Some their first game, Ross.
And this is where the deeper lineups are going to have an advantage when it comes to playing their players. They have a little bit more fresh legs, but as you see here, both these teams have been here before with their fresh meat teams. Both teams still playing at this point.
And both teams are doing their best to hold the jammers up right now. We have a skater down. My rep nut leans in to make sure she's okay, and she insists she is. And that's Whip It Good going. But lead jammer is I Teach for the 705 Bombshells, and she needs to move fast and get some points on the board. She takes a look over her shoulder. She sees Whip It Good coming. She taps her hips on her way through. And just in time as she picks up 4 points for her Bombshells, which they need very much right now.
And that starts to cut into the lead. It's right now 50 points is not insurmountable as long as you got a couple minutes to play with. We almost had the same thing over at the bubble no more than 5 minutes ago.
And the past couple games here have been down to last jam wins.
It seems to be the theme of this tournament.
I've seen it 4 times myself today, Ross, and it's rather exciting. It's great to see these fresh teams so evenly matched. Cyclone Slam has had a great percentage today for getting lead jammer. She's been a force to be reckoned with, and as she jukes her way into there, she finds a hole quickly. She calls it off, and once again manages to get the 4 points and not allow the Bombshells, even though they're close, to steal any points.
It seems that she's been going through and been it's almost stoic. Come in, grab the 4 points, call it off, do it again. It's been very controlling. It keeps the time low. Like, there's only 5 minutes left in the game. You throw 2 or 3 more of those down, they'll have the game easily in hand.
And that's the Hamutants. They're going to call a timeout right now. And I know, Ross, you've been over in the bubble today, but the reason why we're calling them the Hamutants as opposed to the debutantes is because they have some Hamilton skaters with them.
Really? So I did not know that.
What they requested is that today they like to be known as the Hamutants.
Well, very well then. The Hamutants it is.
Yeah, so we got actually 2 teams here, Ross, that are comprised of different leagues. So once again, the Hamutants is made up of GTAR and some Hamilton skaters, and then we have the Bombshells, 705 Bombshells, which are Peterborough skaters and Belleville.
There has been a lot of combinational fresh meat teams because, well, a lot of their original leagues, they only pull in about 5 or 6 fresh meat skaters a year, so therefore they have to combine with other leagues in order to make a full team to compete in this tournament. It's the same with the neophytes who have brought in 6 different leagues.
6 different leagues for the neophytes, yeah.
And Quebec Roller Derby, the same thing. They only have 10 players on their team, but they're comprised of a couple different leagues.
Yeah, but you know what's good is that at least these leagues are talking to each other and putting these skaters together to at least put a team in for this experience and this event, right?
Well, this is the thing I love about Derby evolving. In the older days, Derby would be, your fresh meat would almost be a guarded secret to find out who's coming up in your league. Nowadays, we realize that overall development is worth way more than anything else.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that is Dynamite. She That's cutting the track penalty, and then she's a little confused as to which way to go.
Well, that happens with newer skaters, trying to find out what the referee's instructions are.
Yeah, but it's almost like when she got called for it, she knew. She put her hands up like, oh, really? And all the while, Lunchagore, she picked up lead jammer for the Hamutants, and she's busting her way through the front of that 705 bombshell wall. She goes down as well. We got some skaters throwing it all out there. But Lunchagore picks up 5 big points for the Hamutants. They're really running away with this lead right now with 4 minutes left, Ross.
It seems that 705 doesn't have an answer for their jammers right now. It looks like the fatigue of the day is starting to take a hold on both of these packs.
And that's Dynamite. She's out of the box right now, but she was still on her initial pass.
Jammers, on the other hand, here seem to be flying around all over the place. I don't know what it is. It must be the track. It must be the general excitement of being in your first tournament. But, man, there's been some great derby today.
100%. It's almost surprising that some of these skaters, that when you watch them play, it's hard to believe that they played that few games or they're fresh. But a lot of them come from different sports, too.
Well, not only different sports, but one of the things that we didn't have many years ago is junior derby. Junior derby, we're starting to see more junior skaters starting to grow up and evolve into their house leagues, into their fresh meat teams, because they are... it's just the developmental system has changed so drastically in the roller derby community. Now that junior derby is becoming more of a standard thing across all derby leagues.
Yeah, no, and you're funny you brought that up, because that's exactly a few moments ago, that's exactly what Jax and I were talking about. And that's Cyclone Slam. She's grabbing lead jammer once again, and she's scoring points. She's been like a force to reckon with the few games that I've seen her today, that I've called for her today.
She has an excellent approach to the pack. You see her juke well before she starts, finds the gap, puts her shoulder down, and exploits the advantage.
So we got just over 2 minutes left. It looks like the Hamutants are going to handily win this one with 96 points up on the board. 705 Bombshell, 24 points. I think.
And we're getting close to another century game here in this format. With 20-minute games having set 100-point games is kind of ridiculous to me. But it shows, again, how much skill is being imparted on these players so early on. Like, we're talking about strategy here, not just skating ability or just how people are making contact and hits. We're talking about 3 walls, 4 walls, dynamic waterfalls. We're talking about all sorts of things, and still natural talent of these jammers.
Finding Rabbit takes quite a few hits through that pack, and she gets up and keeps going. She was the lead jammer. She calls that jam off, knowing that she had 329 hot on her heels. And that's Jewel of Denial, 329. She's a Hammer City skater as well.
I'm glad to see so many leagues, both within Ontario, Quebec, and upstate New York, represented here today at today's tournament.
Yeah, it's been and all over Ontario to boot. You got teams skaters that travel from Temiskaming and Kirkland Lake and Sault Ste. Marie, and I mean as far as that north, and then like I said, the Quebec skaters, and and it's
Does
nice
Kirkland Lake have a team?
Yeah, Kirkland Lake has a team. You bet they do. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Cochrane has a team. Timmins has a team. Northern Ontario has quite a few, and that's why they had to pull all the fresh skaters they had to get the neophytes together to be here today.
That was a great hit there by 774 Misbehaving, taking the and once again we're over 100 points. Here we go.
All right, century mark broken again by the Hamutants. Not the first time that they broke 100 points today either. They did it earlier today against Les Rebelles. And I know you haven't been here, but Les Rebelles has been a nice surprise today. They had 2 games back-to-back that they won, one by 2 points and then one by 1 points, and they were both won on the last jam. Wow. To stay alive nonetheless, Ross.
Now, we got the Divas on the other side of the bracket who just did the same thing, where they got 2 games back-to-back, and they won both. The first one handedly. The second one was a little bit tighter by the end. but having back-to-back games is very difficult in this format.
Yeah, it's hard. You're right.
Oh, that's
Shell shock.
Dynamite taking a hit at the very end to Cyclone, and it was close to being late, but no one seems to be blowing the whistle on that one to end the game.
Might have got away with that one.
Well, it is the end of the game. It looks like that's our final.
Yeah, my ref not calls that one. And that is the Hamutants. They move on, and 705 Bombshells, without a good showing here today, are gonna head home for the day.
Well, we're going to have some interesting matchups coming up to the later part of today.
I switched around, so you've got the next game.
And that's the Hamutants. They're celebrating. I'm Babylon Babic.
I'm Ross Vegas. Enjoy. We'll be back here in a few minutes.
Stay tuned.
Oh, maybe I'll need one. No. Welcome back, roller derby fans, to Track 1 and Ted Reeve Arena, the 2015 Fresh and Furious. I'm the Derby Nerd.
And I am Babylon Babic.
Welcome back. We are into the quarterfinals of what has been already a long and grueling day. This is the first quarterfinal showdown between Roller Derby Quebec in the black and the hometown Derby Hamutants, representing the GTA RollerGirls and the Hammer City RollerGirls in the pink. As we said, this is now into the knockout stage. There's no second chances from here on in.
And the Hamutants just got done playing to stay alive. So we're going to see how much gas they still have in the tank, being that RDQ had a chance to sit for a bit.
Absolutely. And RDQ, of course, advancing through in 2 straight wins. So they had a bit of a break. The Devs, as you mentioned, just fought for their life. But they did win quite handily. So it wasn't an incredibly stressful game. They won by about 70 points. So they were cruising by the end of that one.
They do have momentum on their side right now, but RDQ, from what I've seen over in the bubble earlier today, has been a force to be reckoned with as well. So I'm rather excited to see this matchup today, Nerd.
Yeah, 279 points over their first 2 games of this tournament. Unbelievable, considering that
impressive.
is 40 minutes of roller derby.
Yeah.
And they did set a record with 155 points, the most points ever scored in a Fresh and Furious game.
And what's interesting, too, is the next highest score today was the Hamutants against Les Rebelles, and they put 136 up.
Yeah.
So we have 2 of the highest scoring teams today.
Yep.
That are on the track right now. It's going to see how this. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
2 high-octane offenses here. This could be explosive, but you never know. Maybe they'll lock down the defense.
Well, that's exactly it, right? We don't know the teams they ran up to. You know, like 705, the last game the Hamutants played. The defense didn't have an answer specifically for Cyclone Slam, who continuously negotiated herself through the pack with ease.
Yeah, she's having a heck of a day here at the Fresh and the Furious. Whip It Good, too, another skater to watch for the Derby debutantes who's also been having an excellent day.
Yes, exactly. And what's interesting is those are 2 jammers from each league. One from Hammer City, which is Whip It Good, and then Cyclone Slam has come together off of the debutantes. So you have jammer talent from the Fresh level from both of those teams that came together to work today. So
yeah, just one of many merged and amalgamated teams at this year's Fresh and the Furious. And we are ready to get underway. Quarterfinal matchup here. Ted Reeve Arena.
Everybody's playing to stay alive right now.
First jam now underway. Debutantes holding a wall at the front. It's Izzy Gonzalez's jammer for RDQ, and she will be the first lead jammer of this showdown. Whip It Good having a hard time in the back of the pack.
Yeah, she's realizing quickly that this isn't the game she just previously played with the blocker she's running into right now.
Unbelievable defense from RDQ early on. Finally forced to let her go. Whip It Good out on her initial pass. Izzy Gonzalez, though, already has 4 points on the board. It looks like Izzy is going to keep this one going. Smegmark, very experienced bench coach.
Yeah, either that or she was just she took a look up at the time clock too. I think this team's going to be smart with their strategy today as well.
Just work that clock as much as possible. Yeah, as I mentioned, Smegmark, the bench coach, he is actually the bench coach for Les Duchesses, the WFTDA team. In Roller Derby Quebec, so very experienced coach on the bench.
And that's exactly what you need with these Fresh teams on the bench. Is you need an experienced coach that knows to utilize the skaters, see the talent early, know how to apply it to the game.
Yeah. See now, 4-0 lead early on for Quebec. Viande froid et charcuterie. Another lead jammer status, 2 in a row. This time it's Taminator.
And she goes inside and outside there and gets through. And once again, the Hamutants jammers having a hard time with this RDQ defense right off the bat.
This is Cyclone Sand, that other jammer we were telling you about before the game, just getting by Dildo Do Bombas at the end of the end of turn 2. And a nice easy inside pass for Taminator, 4 points on the board. And again, looking at the clock, calling it out at the last minute. Nice work early on from RDQ. I heard word on the track is that Roller Derby Quebec chose their name based on what they thought would be difficult for the English announcers to say. Viande froid et charcuterie.
And I'm glad you just said that.
Also known as Roller Derby Quebec. Whip It Good back on the line. To jam in the pink for the Hamutants. Pretty quiet in the penalty box so far over the first 2 jams. And Whip It Good just powers through the defensive wall.
Gets through there that time. And she's been a pleasure to watch over here today.
Yeah. Izzy Gonzalez again, a very short jammer rotation.
You wonder if she knows behind her, if the other jammer's right behind her or not. She calls it off, and it looks like Izzy might have picked up all 4 of those.
Yeah. Steal of 4 for Izzy Gonzalez and Roller Derby Quebec. 4-2 on that jam. Sends their lead now to 12-2 overall. 2.5 minutes into this one.
And it's good to see all these fresh skaters put their skating talents, but it's also good to see them hopefully take away and learn the strategies of this game and the track awareness, I guess I want to say at best, right? To know when to call it off, to look over your shoulder, to know if the other jammer's coming. Yeah,
absolutely. Tournament kind of experience is a different kind of experience in itself, and to get it at this young stage in their careers is excellent. Taminator's lead jammer once again. Just a 2-jammer rotation for Roller Derby Quebec. They're actually skating with 9 skaters. They started with 10, lost chlamydia to an injury earlier on.
And Cyclone Slam gets recycled back. This defense at the front of RDQ, you're seeing the Hamutants run into. This is definitely the hardest line they've seen, anyways, as far as defense goes.
Oh yeah,
and they're still holding her up well, but eventually they got to let her go, and she makes it out.
Yeah, good perseverance from Cyclone Sam, but excellent pack work led by Killeezy, the pivot. Oh, but a track cut being assessed to Taminator. Power jam opportunity now for GTA.
This is GTA's chance, nerd, to get back into this game.
Ninja Turtle also heading to the penalty box, so there's a pack advantage as well for the skaters in pink. Diva Cop out there with Killeezy, looking to work the offense. A nice sweep.
Oh, Cyclone Slam takes the outside lane with a little help from a block that got that hole for her.
Yeah, Japanic attack with a nice sweep on the outside. See if she does it again. She does, but Cyclone Sam couldn't stay in bounds. She's trying to call it off.
But she's not lead jammer. She can't call it off.
Knocked out of bounds once again. Great penalty kill here from Roller Derby Quebec.
They know that they got to hold her up right now to get their jammer back out. And Taminator is back out on the track.
25 seconds to go. No lead jammer. Taminator comes up against a wall of pink. Dildo Bombast looking to play some offense. Does open up enough of a hole. So Taminator
Luchagore does her best to catch her at the front. But Taminator makes it through, picking up 4 points.
Cyclone also picking up 4 points.
But if you look up at that score, Derby nerd.
Yeah. Tie game, 5 minutes in.
Yeah, and that was a huge power jam for the Hamutants. This might be enough to get that momentum back swinging their way.
Absolutely. 19-9 on that jam. A little bit messy, but came out in favor of the home team. Whip It Good out there against Izzy Gonzalez. 4-on-4 in the pack. Penalty box gloriously empty. At least for the time being. Izzy looks for a way outsides, switches back through the middle. She is through for a lead jammer status. Whip It having a hard time, and there is our first penalty. Ninja Turtle back to the box, her second penalty of the game. That's something we're going to have to monitor.
She picks up a low block call for tripping up Whip It Good. Whip It Good makes it out.
Izzy through scoring.
She's taking a look at her, sees Whip It, knows to call it off.
And Roller Derby Quebec back in front now, 25-21, coming up to the 7.5 minute mark, or 6.5 minute mark, excuse me. 20-minute games. If you're just tuning in, this is Beast of the East style roller derby. We're now into the knockout stages after a double elimination round throughout the morning and afternoon. A long, grueling tournament for these skaters. The Hamutants coming off of a big must-win victory just in the previous game to this.
And that took no time at all as Taminator jumps through that pack. She is the lead jammer for this jam.
Luchagore,
defense again.
And Luchagore is jamming. It looks like the Hamutants trying to mix things up in their jammer rotation, perhaps looking for a little bit of power. Luchagore, primarily a blocker.
Oh, but it looks like Taminator picks up a call. It's a low block call to Taminator. This is going to give Luchagore a chance to get on that board. She's still on her initial pass right now as RDQ's defense is buying a lot of time for Taminator to get back out on that track.
Wow, just locked down defense. Unbelievable work. Initial pass complete. But that killed off a lot of time in the penalty. Luchagor assessing the situation, decides to take off the star. Star pass being made to Cyclone Slam.
And now this is their chance to get some points on the board, Nerd.
Guns N' Roses heading to the penalty box. Oh, and Taminator
she makes it look easy.
Wow, glides through. Only 4 points on that pass.
You think the Hamutants must have been just focusing on getting their jammer through at that point, and it gave Taminator a good chance just to knife right through there.
Now, interesting that was only 4 points. I wonder, now the star was not on when the pass was made, and I wonder if the ref actually might have missed the 5th point. Interesting. 4 points, though, now picked up for Taminator.
Yeah, that's a good possibility, yeah.
Jammers now trading off scoring passes. Roller Derby Quebec with a 4-point lead. Oh, and another penalty now being assessed. This time it's a forearm penalty to Taminator.
Yeah.
So the Hamutants, who have been pushing for the lead all game, may have just taken it.
And this jam went to 2 full minutes, and once again, we have a tie game.
Unbelievable. Oh, 1 point being added at the very end of that jam. And I wonder if that was that extra point.
Maybe that was that extra point you were discussing, yeah. An official review being called right now. It looks like, since RDQ is the first one out there, that they're the ones that asked for this official review.
Yeah. Smug Mark leading his captain out to talk to the head referee.
You wonder maybe if they're wondering about that forearm, and he just made the signal in there, the coach, about that forearm call.
As I said, Smeg Mark, a very experienced coach at a variety of levels of Derby.
You'll agree with me. I mean, when you got 20-minute games like this, these power jams are huge.
Absolutely.
And if you got the chance to even turn over one of these calls,
Yeah.
that might be the call, that turnover, that makes a difference in the game.
Yep.
Not to mention also that he would retain and get another opportunity, if he is right, to review something else later within the last 10 minutes of this game.
Absolutely. One power jam, especially, we've seen games finish. We've had a 2-point game, we had a 1-point game. A power jam can really change the scope of a game, can be a momentum shifter.
Everything short of a tie game to an overtime jam, which I'm not trying to jinx nothing, but I wouldn't mind seeing it today, to be honest with you.
I'd be all right with that. I was at the Winter Wipeout tournament this winter, and there was an overtime game during that tournament. It was another similar style tournament.
I was at the same thing, but I was in stripes at that point. I was playing as ref star that day. I wasn't on that game. I was wishing I was, because overtime jams can be rather exciting for sure. Not that officials are going to show any expression towards that. But
no, of course not. Business as usual.
Business as usual. Ref face it is.
So 1 point is the difference. We're just coming up to the 9-minute mark, and this is a great opportunity to thank Monster Muffin, one of our vendors and sponsors this weekend. Canadian-made clothing for on and off the track, from ready-to-wear to uniforms to custom-made. We've got you covered. www.monstermuffin.com. All right, so
noticing that Taminator's still in the box, and it was the forearm call that was being challenged. Therefore, it would appear that the call is going to stand. RDQ is going to lose their official review, and the Hamutants are going to start on a power jam, being down by 1 point.
That's right. Excellent opportunity here to get back into it. The official review has not been taken down off the board yet, but I'm sure that will happen momentarily.
4-2 pack advantage for the Hamutants as well, too, as there's 2 blockers, one of which being the pivot for RDQ. So a blocker and a pivot in the box, and a jammer. This is the Hamutants' chance to hopefully open up this gap. And it's whip it good again, Derby Nerd.
Yeah, that's exactly the jammer they want on. She's had a little bit more success this game than Cyclone Slam maybe has against this tough RDQ defense, and powers her way through once again. Only 2 blockers to deal with. Kill easy pivot back on the track.
And that's a lead change once again. That's bringing the Hamutants up to 38, a 4-point lead at this point.
Captain of the Hamutants, Bucky Harms, now going up into that RDQ wall, trying to split them up and make some room for her jammer. Unable to do so.
Box is empty. All skaters are on the track. Taminator she's just finished her initial pass. You wonder if Whip It Good's going to have the track awareness and notice, and since she looks at her bench,
nice
and
job.
Gets the signal and calls it off this time. So You wonder after so many games today that they're finally telling her, take a look over at the bench. We're going to tell you what's going on. And she definitely is. She's exhibited the skills today.
Absolutely. And
she just let a few points slip by a few times where they were stolen by the other team.
Yeah, and that happens. I mean, especially at a tournament like this. But yeah, you can literally watch these skaters get smarter and just improve as the tournament goes on.
Very true.
Sometimes jam by jam.
And you also look forward to seeing them continue their derby career after this Fresh and the Furious tournament and start playing on a regular basis these games.
Absolutely.
You're almost certain they're going to catch the derby bug after this.
Yeah, and most players of this current generation of competitive roller derby in Ontario and Quebec have come at some point through this tournament. Lead jammer status going to Izzy Gonzalez. Hamutants leading just past the midway point of this quarterfinal showdown at the 2015 Fresh and Furious tournament.
And Izzy gets low that time and slides through to pick up her 4 points. But fortunately for the Hamutants, Cyclone Slam got through that front of that RDQ defense and was forcing Izzy to call that jam off.
Limited the damage to just one 4-point pass. They maintain their lead, but it is now down to 5, 43-38. Just under 9 minutes to go.
Isn't this exactly how you want to see the first quarterfinal game go down?
Absolutely.
I mean, nice, close, no blowout.
Yep.
At this point, I shouldn't speak too soon. We do have 8 minutes of derby left, but at this point, both teams going out there and laying it all out on the line.
Most of our quarterfinals are set. We're still waiting for one more player or team to get involved. We will find out shortly. But Izzy Gonzalez through for another lead jammer status for Roller Derby Quebec as they try to get back in this one.
And Jewel Denial, Hammer City skater with the Hamutants, she's doing what she can, and she finally gets to the front of that RDQ defense.
But quickly through on a scoring pass is Izzy Gonzalez with 4 points, so that's going to pull RDQ within one at 43-42 now. And talking about skaters who've graduated, we've seen some skate like last year. Crazy Squirrel played in this and is now on a WFTDA Division 1 team. Tri-City. It looks like they're going to hold their D1 spot into the playoffs this year as well.
Yeah, for sure. And and you're right. She's a great example of a skater that started out this tournament and continued on to bigger and better things. She was a shining light in this tournament last year, and she played as well too.
Yep. Le Grand Noisseur, another one from Quebec. She's here working the bench for the Smash Squad. She's become a star for both the Les Expos in Montreal and also Les Filles de War, helped them to a third place finish at this year's Beast of the East.
And you know these skaters go home with their confidence that much higher, win or lose at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's exciting about it. And confidence is half of it.
Absolutely. Both teams now widening their jammer rotation as we get late into this quarterfinal showdown. Kill Easy jamming for Roller Derby Quebec, and that is Misbehaving.
Yeah, she's experiencing this RDQ defense right now.
RDQ defense meet Misbehaving. Misbehaving meet RDQ defense.
Yeah.
It sucks.
For Misbehaving. I'm sure RDQ
Yes.
fans are happy with it.
Looks terrifying to me. RDQ has now retaken the lead, and they are building off of it. This is a massive breakout jam.
Yeah, that was a
10 points so far, all on natural Grand Slams.
I was just going to comment on that. Those are a couple natural Grand Slams, which shows that the RDQ defense is doing a good job at the front. And you know what? Misbehaving, not giving up, though. She's pushing hard.
This is her first jam of the game. Japanic attack heading to the penalty box. 4-3 pack advantage for Roller Derby Quebec. And another pass. That's 3 natural Grand Slams now for Kill Easy.
And Dildodo Bombast, she picks up a penalty for multiplayer blocks. So we have a blocker from each team right now. So three blockers each team, each side right now on the track.
Looks like Diva Cop also going to be heading to the penalty box as well, so that'll give the Hamutants a brief pack advantage.
Oh no, there's Hamutants who's sending 1-2 right now, Derby Nerd.
That was a really brief pack advantage. Impaler Moon heading to the penalty box for the Hamutants. It's going to be a 2-2 in the pack to start things off here. And a massive jam, 18-0 blows this game wide open. And suddenly, Roller Derby Quebec has a substantial lead, 60-43.
I might have spoke too soon on that one, but we'll see. Anything can happen still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like it's a timeout called by RDQ. And maybe that's a strategic thing on their behalf. They just had a big jam like that. And now
they do have a very short bench too, and that was a long, grueling jam. So maybe just want to keep everyone fresh.
You know, one thing I haven't seen yet today, Derby Nerd, and I mean, you might see it, is I haven't seen anybody use their official review as a timeout, which is an option under the new rule set as well, too.
Yeah.
Let alone I haven't even really seen many teams use all their timeouts at this point.
No, even in those games that were really close, the two we had here at Ted Reeve Arena that were a 2-pointer and a 1-pointer, it was just they didn't have opportunities to stop the clock, because often the jams at the very end went the full 2 minutes or...
Yeah, no, you're right, yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of that where lead jammers picked up and then picks up a penalty, and then you're going the full 2.
Yep.
It's happened several times over the past, the course of the day, actually. And maybe that's due to experience as well, too, being fresh skaters.
Yep. And fresh benches in some cases as well.
Yes, very true, yeah.
So here we have that micro pack 2-2. Izzy Gonzalez gets low, goes around Luchagor on the outside. Sorry, that's Bucky Harms for lead jammer status.
Izzy there, it was beautiful. On the outside, she avoids what could have been a low block and then transitions like it's nothing. She doesn't really look like a fresh skater out there.
Absolutely not. And speaking of that, the footwork on that stop and go at turn number 2 is unbelievable. Totally juked the whole Hamutants wall. Oh, and another little spinorama turn 3.
Oh, yeah, she's exhibiting some great skating skills out there right now.
Wow.
And skating skills that are picking her up points, which makes them even better.
Yeah. No, these roller derby Quebec skaters are actually used to skating shorthanded. If you're any fans of the Beast of the East tournament, I've seen Le Cassegueule and Le Rouge et Gore skate often, sometimes with just a 9 skater bench for a whole weekend in a tournament. So this is something that this league is used to and kind of thrives on, and you can really see the endurance that they've built because of it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's based on endurance, but it also gives it gives you more chemistry too, you'd imagine, right? I mean, these skaters get to know what's in the other. They're almost in each other's heads at that point. You skate so often.
Izzy Gonzalez with a nice move to avoid Luchagor hit. Oh, Cyclone Sam, unfortunately, with a little spin, and that is going to be a cutting penalty. Power jam, a roller to be Quebec with Izzy Gonzalez on the track. And Babbitt, this could be the jam that puts it away.
You know, up until 8 minutes left in this game, the Hamutants, they were in it, right? You know, and RDQ at this point is really locked down. You wonder if the official review and the timeout was the break they needed to get the energy back.
Yeah, absolutely. That might have been a well-timed timeout. I believe that they are now on a 41-5 run. Yeah, if it serves me, if I'm wrong, why don't you take the time to, if you're watching, hashtag FNF 2015 or hashtag Fresh and the Furious, but I do believe this is now an expanded run.
Izzy Gonzalez, she's still, look at that. She just spins right around that foremost blocker. Oh, but it looks like
Bucky Harms might have taken a finger to the eye.
Potter took a hit to the face, but she also picked up an elbow call. That's a tough one to swallow when, you know. But then again, it might have been her teammate for all I know, Derby Nerd, right? So
could have been the ref was in a good position, called the elbow quickly. So yeah, suddenly, what was a close game has been kind of blown wide open, and Roller Derby Quebec almost doubling up. Oh, they are doubling up. The Derby Hamutants.
They are, and that's a timeout called by the Hamutants right now. They know they have 3 minutes left. It is a big lead, but maybe they're hoping this might be just a breather. Maybe talk about some strategies. Maybe switch up your jammer rotation, like you were saying. Mind you, I don't see Whip It Good in Cyclone Slam. Yeah, they're having problems with the front of that, but I think more than anything, in my opinion, I think the Hamutants need to lock down that defense.
Yeah.
They need to stop Izzy.
Absolutely.
And Taminator.
Yeah, Izzy Gonzalez just been eating up that track. And again, her footwork is just unbelievable. And at this level of the game, if you have the footwork, that's going to give you a massive advantage in this tournament.
I said it before and I said it again. She doesn't look like a fresh skater out there. She's exhibiting some
Well, it's a fairly small league, so I think what some of these smaller league, the advantage that they have is that they practice together more and more. And there are a lot of really high-level skaters in roller derby Quebec. But where a league like Toronto, for example, the Divas barely ever get to practice with CN Power or the higher-level teams. They do sometimes, but not on the regular basis where roller
Whereas
derby
you
Quebec
feel
does.
like these girls are mentored more, is
Yeah.
what you're saying, from their home leagues? They're
Yeah.
getting, yep.
I think so. Just the smaller leagues need more bodies at practice.
Yeah.
All right, we were ready to get underway now. Under 3 minutes to go. This is the first of 4 quarterfinal matchups.
And
It's Kill Easy again.
yeah, she's. It's only the second time we've seen. Oh, and that last line of defense at the front.
Nice job.
Yeah, Luchagor does a good
Yep.
job there. But she picks up. That might have been something for an infraction. But anyway, she did a good job holding her up for a moment, and that gave Whip It Good the chance to get that lead jammer status.
And
Now
this
you wonder if Whip It Good's going to look over her shoulder and see.
doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it.
But nonetheless, the Hamutants are going to get their first points in about 3 jams on the board here. So, if nothing else, 1 point. It's a 1-0 jam. Whip It Good working hard for that 1 point.
Well, fortunately, on that particular jam or on that scoring pass, the Hamutants held that front wall that time.
Yeah, that was
So-
that tightened up defense you were just talking about, yeah. Some nice work by the Hamutants, making some late game adjustments to try and stay in this one. It is now a doubled score exactly, 88-44, only a minute and a half to go. We could potentially have 3 teams from Quebec in the final 4. Still a long way off from that, but that's what this sets up if roller derby Quebec can hold on and win this one. Izzy Gonzalez is your lead jammer. Cyclone Slam just about 20 feet behind. Oh, and Izzy
again. She gets her hip past the whole wall on the inside. Spins around, knows to get the points. She could actually face and see Cyclone Slam and knows I'm going to call this off.
A 1-foot spinorama on the inside line. Speaking of confidence, just the confidence to do that and know that you won't cut is unbelievable.
Exactly. But you wonder at this point too in the game. I mean, I'm sure you never want to take a risk like that, but
Up by almost 50. Japanic Attack now getting an opportunity with the star for the Hamutants. So looking deep into their bench to try and find something here late. But Izzy Gonzalez, who's been a lockdown.
and she's out there
jammer.
again right
Yeah.
away, eh?
Unbelievable. Oh, and heading to the penalty box, Japanic Attack with a blocking with the head.
And right in front of her is Whip It Good at the pivot head cover on. She's grabbing a seat as well.
And with under 10 seconds to go, that is going to do it. We will see if Izzy Gonzalez
continues to put the points on the board, or you wonder, well, she just broke that century mark right now, Derby Nerd.
Yeah, and I think they want to call it off. This is a
They're
long
not gonna
day.
Waste no time. It's waste energy, yeah.
Point differential means nothing. This is a knockout tournament, and that's it.
RDQ moves on. And Hamutants, even though they've fought 2 games in a row to stay alive, the hosts, they are going to pack their derby gear up and come on out and cheer on their fellow.
I imagine they'll have a few ice-cold adult beverages, probably sit here trackside and watch the rest of this tournament play out. An impressive performance from the Hamutants, one of the amalgamated teams at this year's tournament. A great showing, really, for the hosts.
Yeah, they were in it for the first half. You just wonder if you got to remember too, the Hamutants just got done playing a game.
Yeah, and they might have just
So
been
you
running out of
wonder if
steam.
halfway through this game they just ran out of gas. I mean,
Yeah, that's it. They scored 2 points over the final about 7 or 8 minutes of that game. So
precisely. Whereas
nothing left in the
before
tank.
that, it was 2 ties, I believe.
Yep. So a great performance from the hosts, but they didn't have quite enough left in the tank to knock off the powerhouses from Roller Derby Quebec. RDQ moving on to the semifinals for fans tuning in back in La Belle Province. You can see your team playing tonight in the semifinal at 7:40-ish p.m. here at Ted Reeve Arena. At that point, we will have a full production boutcast for you, multi-cameras, and all of the teams will be moving here into Ted Reeve Arena at that point. All right, I guess this is going to be a wrap in this opening game of the quarterfinals.
I'm Babbling Bavick. It's been a pleasure, Derby Nerd.
And yes, thank you for joining us at the Fresh and the Furious 2015.
Test.
Cameras out there, so should be able to actually or it'll just fall right off and fly.
I don't think so. It looks pretty sturdy. I think we're safe.
I'm not so sure.
William, are we live? Are we live?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Ted Reeve Arena and the Fresh and the Furious 2015. I'm the Derby Nerd.
And my name is Bubbles the Brave. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
This is the second quarterfinal showdown. We are featuring the Bloody Marys from Wellington Roller Derby and Queen's Court from the Queen City RollerGirls from Buffalo, New York, our international competitors. It's Buffalo in the black, the Bloody Marys in the red. And a big start for the Bloody Marys. Number 88 is your lead jammer. Queen's Court, or Bloody Marys getting first lead jammer status in this game. Number 88 in the red, Jules Byrne, getting all four and calling it off.
Well, it's just a quick little 4 points that she got in there before she called that off.
Queen's Court getting here after just coming off of a win over the Forest City Thickets just about 10 minutes ago. So a quick transition for Queen City.
We got 88 Jules Byrne jamming for Queen's Court today. And we have 85, which is Cerez, running for the Bloody Marys.
Bloody Mary's going to bypass the first round.
Oh, and that was a quick way out there for Queen's Court. Jules Byrne's coming around.
First lead jammer status now for Queen City. 1-1 in terms of status. Queen City pivot heading to the penalty box. That's McNugget. Jules Byrne through the pack quickly.
Bloody Mary there. She's catching up there for... but not quite quick enough and before they called that off.
So a 4-4 start. A minute and a half in to this quarterfinal. We are into the knockout stages of the 2015 Fresh and the Furious. There's no second chances anymore.
No, this is it. This is all she wrote.
The winner will move on to the semifinals tonight at 7 p.m. here in the Ted Reeve Arena. One each in the penalty box, 3 threes in the pack.
Bloody Mary's jammer's trying to get through there, and it looks like she is just about through 88.
Oh, but Mimi LaRogue getting a penalty on a track cut, so it's going to be, both jammers heading to the penalty box.
And the rest of the crowd's just waiting around here now, trying to figure out who's going to go.
The pack wondering what to do with themselves, and the second straightaway, it's going to be Mimi LaRogue coming out of the box first. She'll have the first opportunity to get through. This is going to be a full 2-minute jam. In the black, it's 2:08. Penny Dreadful jamming for Queen City.
She makes it through her initial pass there for the Bloody Marys. Meanwhile, the other jammer for Queen City is desperately trying to make it through the pack. She's being held off good, trying to find that hole, getting some jams going on.
Mimi LaRogue coming in hot to the back of that pack, peels off a couple of the Queen City blockers and makes her way through inside at turn 2.
Nice inside play there from the Bloody Marys.
Oh, and a track cut now called on the Queen City jammer. It's going to be a power jam opportunity for the Bloody Marys. 50 seconds to go in this jam.
Yeah, she takes the inside. And she pulls. Yes, she did. She pulled it right through. She's looking tired out there, though. You see her puffing her breath.
This is a long and grueling tournament. It's basically a 2-day tournament played out over the course of 1 day. Now combating against a 4-wall. Slowly the blockers peel off.
Nice tight wall of black there, but she did make it through.
LaRogue is through with another grand slam.
Erin Gobralis being sent off to the penalty box now.
Penny Dreadful back on the track, completing her initial pass, but Mimi LaRogue already scoring again. She's got 15 so far in this jam. And she won't have time for any more, but at the very end, it looks like Queen's Court is going to pick up a few points at the end of that jam. 2-1 on that final pass, 21-6 now, 4 minutes in.
20-6, it looks like, for the Bloody Marys. Well, looks like they're going to go ahead and have the Queen City do a tripod block position here against the Bloody Marys.
1 in the box, 4-3 advantage. Looks like it's going to be Mimi LaRogue again for the Bloody Marys. Tries to get through on the inside, gets knocked in. Sorry, that's number 85, Cerez, excuse me. And pop to the inside is 905 McCready, and she is having a hard time with these Bloody Mary blockers.
98 will hold if she got it to melted. She's heading off to the penalty box, giving it a bit of an advantage here for Buffalo.
Cerez already around in scoring, absorbs a couple blows from her knees, calls it off. Let's see how many points she got. 3 points on that pass. So good start today in this quarterfinal game for the Bloody Marys. They've kind of quietly become the dark horse team in this tournament.
Yeah, it was quite surprising. They're coming based out of Wellington, apparently.
Yeah, out of Mount Forest. I believe they're home. They host the Winter Wipeout every year, a tournament, 8-team tournament in Mount Forest. And with an opportunity to make it to the Final Four, the Fresh and Furious.
Oh, look at that. Nice, quickly, easy through there for Bloody Marys 88. That's Jules Byrne. Or no, my bad. That was Mimi LaRogue.
We got 88s jamming on both teams. It's causing a little bit of confusion. Jamming
Just when they jam at the same time. We got 13 here for Rosie jamming for the Queen City, trying to catch up.
And it looks like she's going to get in and steal a couple points, perhaps all 4. 3 points stolen. Very important 3 points for Queen's Court.
Yeah, everybody on the bench yelling for her to call it.
Just a little bit late on the call off. The bench for the Bloody Marys, McPherson and Party Crasher, 2 of the more experienced skaters in that league.
Got 2 people in the box right now for the Bloody Marys. So they're down to 2 blockers on the track. They're going to try and hold off their opposing jammer with just 2 of them.
An opportunity perhaps for the Queen's Court to get back in this one. Some nice defense from those 2 blockers, though.
Awesome defense. That's Jules Burns running there for Queen City.
Nice work from the pivot. Turned down for what?
Couldn't hold her in. She got that lead jammer status.
Great work, though, considering there were only 2 blockers on the track.
Yeah, they held her off for quite a long time.
Cerez, though, having no luck getting through on her own, so the Bloody Mary's going to have to shift to the defense. As Jules Byrne already around and scoring. Finally, Cerez able to make it through. Initial pass complete, but 5 points put on the board for Queen's Court. She's going to call it off.
Yeah, Jules Byrne's going to call it off there. They finally caught that.
Perhaps a little bit of momentum. You know, Buffalo has been staying very close. They're only down by 11 points. A low-scoring game here, 7 minutes in.
These 20-minute belts, they do go fast. I guess that's why they call it fresh and furious.
It is. If you're just tuning in, we are playing a Beast of the East style 20-minute games, double elimination tournament. We've now moved into the knockoff bracket. Only 8 teams remaining.
Been a pretty clean game so far. There hasn't been any timeouts or anything or reviews that needed to be done, so that's good to know.
And the penalty box has been relatively empty as well.
Oh, and she makes it through. Number 905 McCready there for Buffalo.
And
being chased.
Mimi LaRogue also threw about 30 feet back.
Yeah, she's going to get into that pack, try to get her points to call it. She's not going to do it, though.
Both jammers hit the packs hot. Looks like McCready's going to get a back block. They're both going to be assessed back blocks.
Those jammers like to sit in that penalty box, don't they?
This is not the first time this has happened this game. They shared cuts last time, now sharing back blocks. See if they can each pick up a forearm here, just to make it a trilogy.
Into the Bloody Mary there as jammer back out to play. Oh, they're both back out.
McCready knocked to the inside. Mimi LaRogue is through, and that was a scoring pass, so 4 points for LaRogue.
And we have Queen City's jammer out there, 905 McCready trying to get through. Meanwhile, number 14 from the Bloody Marys, Sharpie Shooter, is going off to the penalty box to serve her time.
Oh, and a big collision at turn number 2. Now that allows McCready to get through, and she has picked up 4 points. Queen's Court now within 11, as LaRogue also picks up 4 points. Or LaRouge.
Stopped by that block of red. On her knees up again, trying to get through. Meanwhile, the other jammer's back on the track now.
Mimi LaRouge
nice
absorbs that hit. I realize I've been calling her LaRogue because that's what my notes says, but it's actually LaRouge.
LaRouge,
yes. My apologies to the Bloody Mary fans watching at home.
We have poor French skills, unfortunately.
Another 4 points for Queen's Court. They are narrowing this gap.
Doing a fine job at it, too. 37 to 26 now currently. And she calls it off.
We're just coming up to the midway point. You are watching the 2015 Fresh and Furious here at layer9.ca. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like to be part of the conversation, use hashtag FNF2015 or hashtag Fresh and the Furious. Tell us what you think. Talk amongst yourselves. It's been an unbelievable day of Derby here.
Absolutely awesome. We couldn't ask for a better day to be doing this.
A glimpse of the future of what flat track roller derby has to offer.
Oh, Queen City.
Wow.
Oh, she makes it. She stays up. She stays in play there. Rosie, number 13 from Queen's Court.
Nice work, just powering her way through that wall. A lot of upper body strength displayed on that pass, and she's quickly around on a scoring pass now as well.
And she sneaks through on the outside, just easy peasy like that.
And calls it off intelligently just as Cerez is approaching the pack on a scoring pass, so 4 more points for Queen's Court.
Did not want to sacrifice any of those points that time around.
Already past the midway point. These games go by so quickly. Only 2 on the track for the Bloody Marys. 4-2 advantage for Queen's Court. They've got all the momentum right now. They've really been running the score up over the last 3 jams.
Doing some interesting blocking positioning here.
Yeah, that's an interesting start. Each taking one side of the track, basically.
Oh, look at that. It's just snuck through on the inside there. Bloody Mary's number 35, Fancy A. Bruise. She's being chased really close behind there by the Buffalo Jammer. She calls it off because she knows that Jules Burns is right hot on her tail.
Didn't want to risk it, not in such a close game. Any mistake can really be amplified in a 20-minute game.
Yes, absolutely.
So especially here at the knockout stages, you want to play a little bit conservatively. One in the box for the Bloody Marys.
A little bit of an advantage here for the Queen Cities.
Queen City, the lone American team in the tournament. They've been coming here as long as this tournament's been going on, though.
I like to say that we are an international bout.
Exactly.
Oh, we got 13 there. Rosie from the Queen City pulled off lead jammer status, and she's still being chased really closely here by the Bloody Marys.
Yeah, Queen City really controlling the play over the last few minutes as they try to cut into this lead.
And they come in hard, they get through, get their points, and call it off right away. Keeps Bloody Marys from catching up at all. They're closing that gap fairly quickly.
7 points now is the difference. 8 minutes to go. Still lots of time. Again, an opportunity in the final 4 up for grabs.
If they keep playing that same way where they come around and then call it off each time, they'll slowly work their way up and just in time. And she is through again. Number 88 for the Queen City, Jules Burns. They're still holding number 88 for the Bloody Marys. This is going to be a difficult one to call.
Battle of the 88s. The crazy 88s.
Something out of Kill Bill here.
Yes. I'm glad someone got that reference. It wasn't just spoken off into the wilds of the internet.
No, she's calling it. She's calling it.
Oh.
Finally caught that.
Jules Byrne calling it off just in time. 4 points picked up, though, on that one, and that is going to pull them within 3 points, I believe. There it is, 41-38. Again, a nice sustained run from Queen's Court.
And they keep playing that way. They're going to catch them.
Yep. They've been getting ever closer, and wow, at the end of that jam, it looks like there was a back block assessed to the Bloody Marys jammer, Mimi LaRouge.
Oh, it's going to leave a power jam off here and then for the Queen City.
Yeah, and a power start opportunity. So it's going to be a full 30-second power jam, and this may have been the chance that Queen City needed.
They're holding her in. They're not going to give her any give here.
Nice desperation defense on this penalty kill. Oh, and a high block. It's going to send number 98 off the track.
McCreadle for 9:05 there for the Queen City. She's trying to, and she finally makes it through her and has lead jammer status.
That's Wheel Ho in the penalty box.
She's got to be quick here if she wants to get through, and she's got some shadow points she can catch.
Yeah, it's 3 for 5 if she can get around him. Coming back now on the track. The power jam has ended, so a nice penalty kill from the Bloody Marys, really killing a lot of time.
She may want to call it off now. If she's smart, she would be doing that. Oh, no, they're going to give her the penalties if they stay on. There she goes. Now she called it off. Good girl.
Mimi's still working through her initial pass there, so no points on the board. And the Queen's Court has pulled ahead their first lead of the game, 42-41 with 5.5 minutes to go. I guess if you're going to
close game, isn't it?
If you're going to take the lead, this is a good time to do it. But the Bloody Marys haven't scored in ages, it feels like.
No, they've been doing the same play every time around here. They go around, get through,
Yep.
call them off every time. It seems to be working as long as they stick to that plan.
Simple, straightforward roller derby. Not trying to be too fancy, not trying to do too much. But finally, the Bloody Marys pick up a lead jammer status.
85, Serez going through there for the Bloody Marys.
Much needed lead jammer status picked up.
They're holding back number 13, Rosie there from the Queen City, trying to get through. She finally makes it through. Meanwhile, 85 from the Bloody Marys is making her scoring pass. She going to make it through? No, she calls her off.
She's got a couple points. Oh, she did get all 4.
Oh, good for her.
So the Bloody Marys with some very important points on the board. Timeout called. First timeout of the game. This game is just blown by. We are under 5 minutes to go. Bloody Marys with a very narrow 45-42 lead.
I tell you, if you're interested in joining up with the GTA RollerGirls or becoming as a skater or an official, they are going to be doing a fresh meat camp coming in September. You can look on their Facebook page and get the details from that. Should be quite fun. It's really fun to play. It's a lot of fun. Even if you don't want to put skates on, you can become a non-skating official and still be involved in the sport.
That's right. Or you could become an announcer because the announcers have more fun.
We have the best job ever, don't we?
It's true. Absolutely. Wouldn't trade it for anything. All right, coming up next, we have a couple more quarterfinal matches. They're going on right now in the bubble. But coming up next is going to be the semifinals. We're going to shift everything here into Ted Reeve Arena so you can stick to one stream from 7 p.m. on.
I'm getting some cheering going on from the crowd. I don't know if you can hear that through here. It's going to be lots of fun out here today. I love coming out and watching Derby all day. Got some interesting rough outfits this time.
I was noticing that myself.
35 for the Bloody Marys. Fancy a bruise out. She's being chased really, really close by the Queen City Jammer.
And we had a quick star pass.
She's calling it off. There they go. Took a minute there for the jam ref to catch that one.
Yeah, the best dressed ref is he Diablo, I believe his name is.
He's head to toe in stripes, literally.
Best dressed ref I've probably ever seen.
Yes, I'm speechless.
It's actually a little overwhelming.
Probably not a good thing to be an announcer when you're speechless.
No. Let's stop being mesmerized by the referees. All right, another timeout called, this time called by Queen's Court. It's been kind of a stalemate over the last two jams. 4:20 to go, 45-42.
One of the interesting people that we have here for our merch department is 1234 Skate Company. They are amazing. Lucid Lou, she's a skater, own and operated skate company. She can hook you up with all your derby needs. Check out her website. It's www.1234skateco, and that's all words, no numbers. 1234skateco.com. She's an amazing local, huge supporter for the Derby. She's
probably skated in every league in Ontario.
I think she has.
Currently skating for Toronto Roller Derby for the Bay Street Bruisers there for their B travel team.
If you don't know Lou, then you're out of the loop. That's fact.
Yes.
They also have Monster Muffin here. They're an amazing Canadian-made clothing that's really good for on or off the track. I mean, I think there must be 200 pairs of booty shorts sitting over there.
Yeah.
Oh, 190 I bought too. So.
Well known for her uniforms as well. And we'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Neon Skates, a longtime supporter of the Fresh and the Furious. Neon Skates is a roller derby and recreational skate store. Patin Neon est un magasin de patins quad spécialisé dans le derby et le patin récréatif.
Glad you said that and not me.
SkateNeon.com, you can visit them. They still have a bricks and mortar store in Ottawa. They used to have one in Montreal as well, but they've closed the doors on that one. But you can still visit them in person in Ottawa.
Cool. Have you seen the Bite Me Boutique shop behind us as well? They're pretty neat.
Yes.
BiteMeBoutique.com. They've got lots of interesting and unique derby shirts and stickers and sayings. In fact, I'm wearing one now. I don't know if you can read that.
Nice. Anyone else smell Doritos?
It's one of those things. Your knee pads tend to smell like Doritos after you play for a while. So
that's disgusting. Another reason to be an announcer. All right, looks like we're actually going to play some derby. And we are back underway in what has been a tight quarterfinal game.
Bloody Mary's jammer there. She's pushing through. Is she going to make it?
Cerez once again jamming up against McCready.
Cerez.
Got a toe stop on the track.
Oh, no. Cerez lead jammer. She made it through. She's being chased really, really closely here by 905 McCready.
Has a nice, easy inside pass for 3 points. Didn't quite get her hips past that fourth blocker, but very important points for the Bloody Marys, who seem to have turned things around here.
Such a tight game. They need every point they can grab.
They went about 5 minutes without scoring at one point. Looks like an official timeout is going to be called. There's no one in the penalty box. It's gloriously empty.
Oh, I love an empty penalty box.
Nothing better than an empty penalty box. So official timeout being called. Referees saw something they didn't like. Oh, just as I said, the penalty box is empty. That was it. They were trying to figure out who had been assessed a penalty.
You jinxed them. That must be what it was.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, we're going to get started back up here. 48-42 for the Bloody Marys.
just 3.5 minutes to go.
Oh, and there's some tight play there. And Queen City's jammer, she made it out. First, she's got lead jammer status. I'm not quite sure who it is yet. It is number 13, who is Rosie.
And Mimi LaRouge jamming once again for the Bloody Marys.
And she made it through. She should, if she was smart, call it. There she is. She's calling it off now. That's what they've been playing all night long, and it seems to be effective for them.
Amazing to watch these teams develop over the course of a tournament. Some of these skaters are just that new that they're like sponges and just thriving in this experience.
Yeah, they soak it right up. There's our ref, Diablo. Got a nice good shot of him here on the camera. You guys at home will know what we were talking about earlier.
I believe he's from one of the Neo Leagues, Northeastern Ontario Leagues.
Gotta love our refs, though. Couldn't do this game without the volunteers and the referees.
Can sometimes be a tough job to do, refereeing, so we like them all the more for that. All right, back on the track. It looks like it's going to be another lead jammer status for the Queen's Court. It's Jules Byrne, number 88 in the black.
Oh, Bloody Mary's jammer there. She just made it through. I think it's Cerez running there for them.
Yep. Cerez got about a half a track to make up, though. Queen's Court down by 2, have an opportunity here to...
See if she pulls off the same what they've been doing every time. Oh, she got knocked off, had to recycle back. It's going to call it off for Bloody Mary. Gets a chance to pick up any points.
Let's see how many points. They gave her 3 points to Sass. Oh, but 3 points stolen from the Bloody Marys as well. That'll be a wash.
Still the same spread as it was before. There are only 2 points between the two of them.
2 points, 2 minutes. Timeout called by Queen's Court. Each team has 1 timeout remaining. Queen's Court has also used their official review. The Bloody Marys still have theirs left, just in case we need to start stopping the clock. You're taking a look at the benches.
I tell you, you know what? One place that's really interesting to check out if you're on Facebook later is a site called Happy Peddler. They have really unique handcrafted items made from new and recycled materials. I was over checking out their booth earlier, and they've got some pretty cool stuff there. I should check it out if you have a chance.
Yeah, and you know, if you're in Toronto and for some reason are not here at Ted Reeve Arena, you still have an opportunity to get down here. Semifinals start at 7 p.m. The action's just going to get hotter as the night goes on.
A little bit of a sit down here. Waiting to see what the officials... was an official timeout, I believe, for Buffalo. Oh, and they stopped it, and they're starting back up.
Back underway.
Now, it's soon to be famous tripod formation. That seems to be a very popular one that they've been using lately here at Fresh and Furious.
These nice tight braced hands in the style, perhaps, of the Rose City Rollers.
Oh, Bloody Mary just pushing herself through. That's number 35, Fancy a Bruise. She just...
Oh, but she pushed a little too hard. Forearm penalty called.
Did she? I thought she wouldn't make it through.
Oh,
I was wondering if they were going to catch us. So it's going to be a power jam then for Queen City.
That may have been a costly mistake with under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, Rose is going to try and get these points, and she does it.
Getting low.
They're in trouble. They are in trouble.
There is a trapped skater at the back. Nice job, Queen's Court.
To get through. Oh, there's a little bit of an elevator going on right there.
Oh, they
lost. She is trying to keep that going, that jam.
They lost the trap that allowed the Bloody Marys to speed up and buy some time just as their jammer got back in the track. So a nice penalty kill. Only 9 points.
Very well done. And put them up ahead there. Now Queens is in the lead, 58-51.
Less than 1 minute to go, and the clock is playing down. So this could potentially be the final jam of this quarterfinal showdown. Winner moves on.
Still could be anybody's game, though.
Yep.
It's so close.
Winner moves on. Loser is sitting trackside with us, sipping beer for the rest of the night. Final jam.
This should be an interesting one.
Lead jammer status will say everything.
They are holding, both teams are holding those jammer stuff.
And Mimi LaRouge is through lead jammer status for the Bloody Marys.
This could be all important for her.
McCready, though, still working her way through in this initial pass. We're going to need at least 2 passes.
She's got to make it through this wall of black if she wants to have these guys win.
McCready now is through, and that could be the difference. A minute and a half to go. The game clock has expired.
She's pulled out her 4 points. Oh, she should have called that off. She's letting.
Well, with no times left on the clock, though, they would not have an opportunity to start another jam. So they're going to have to keep this one going and hope for the best.
Oh, they knocked her out of bounds. She's going to have to cycle back to the back of the pack.
Within 3, and McCready having a very hard time. Mimi LaRouge trying to complete this scoring pass.
Boy. McCready trying to get through that Bloody Mary 2-wall and is just not making it through. There she goes. Jammer on jammer.
Oh, she called it off. Oh, I think that may have been a mistake.
Ooh.
Oh, let's see. With 40 seconds to go, Mimi LaRouge calls it off. Wow, and we're going to have to do some scoring adjustments. You can see the bench.
Yeah, they're going to be doing a timeout here for a couple of minutes, I think, on that one. That was...
Wow, Party Crusher's head is in her hands as she did not want the jammer to call that one off. They're assessing the scores. Right now, it's an unofficial final. Queen's Court, 62. Bloody Mary's 59. You can tell by the bench that the Bloody Marys know that is probably going to hold.
Giving everybody hugs, going good game at this point.
Yeah, do you know that's what the Fresh and Furious is all about, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to get out there and get your feet wet, and this is a wonderful way to do it.
Yep. You learn.
So it looks like we do have our winners here, everybody. 62 for the Queen City RollerGirls, Queen's Court out of Buffalo, New York, against the Wellington Roller Derby Mount Forest Bloody Marys, who ended up with 59.
So Queen's Court moves on to the semifinals. They will be playing tonight at 7 p.m. here on Ted Reeve Arena. It's been a few years since a Buffalo team has made it to the Final Four of this tournament, so congratulations to them and Wellington Roller Derby's Bloody Marys. A strong performance.
Absolutely.
Really
that was
showing.
a wonderful bit of derby we watched right there.
Yeah, and I think that kind of came from out of nowhere, Bloody Marys, but people will remember them from here on in, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this is Bubbles the Brave. I'm going to sign out. I may be back on shortly, but for right now, thank you for watching.
And I'm the Derby Nerd. Thanks for tuning in to Layer9.ca and this live coverage of the Fresh and the Furious 2015.